What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty. Join my Discord if you want to chat and share your thoughts, the link is in the description. 9GF211. Miscellaneous fish dared to provoke this uncle? Is it these three people? Kahara Jensei, sitting on a chair in the research institute, looked at the appearance of the three Aizen who appeared on the screen in front of him. At the same time, the machine is also undergoing rapid analysis. However, I only found information about Urahara Kazuki. Joined the Brain Nerve Applied Analysis Institute of S Pharmaceutical Company? It seems that it was premeditated. This person also registered information suddenly. He was also a blank account in the past. Which force is it? It's really intriguing. Kahara Jensei crowned this Mediterranean head, revealing a sinister look. However, the plan of the absolute capable person is what he wants to see the most. For this, he has made a lot of preparations. Accelerator has not lost the possibility now, but the possibility has been reduced a little. Losing to the mysterious man Uzumaki Mizuki doesn't feel like a failure. Gold. How do you transfer it? Is it transferred directly through the account, or is it an entity, and we need to receive it? Kahara Jensei's subordinates asked the three of them directly. At the same time, Dr. Kunyuen also appeared from the door. This money is not so urgent. However, to join this research institute, there is always a price to pay. After all, this is the top research institute in the world. So, you need to prove your sincerity. Kahara Jensei hunched over and said to the three very calmly. Of course, Orochimaru replied with a hoarse voice. At the same time, he took out his mobile phone and dialed Uzumaki Mizuki's number. As for sending money, Uzumaki Mizuki is not interested in sending it in person. Other methods are quite troublesome, and 10 tons is not a secret volume that can be sealed casually. The three of them are not very good at the ability of the space system. After the phone rang once, he hung up immediately. Boom! The whole building shook immediately, then. Directly behind Orochimaru, a large pile of gold bars appeared. For Uzumaki Mizuki, it was delivered directly from Flying Thunder God. This is, Space Department capable users? This kind of weight, a powerful person? No, it's the space system of superpowers. Kahara Jensei instantly burst out with strength. Asked very excitedly. The originally hunched body suddenly stood up. He looked around by the gold nugget, but could see nothing. Advertisement. Although several machines were crushed, he didn't take it to heart at all. Your organization doesn't look like a simple force. Can you let me meet this space-type superpower? Kahara Jensei asked excitedly. The ability of the space system is rare, and there is not even an LV5 superpower. This move made Aizen and Orochimaru slightly underestimate Kahara's phantom. However, they came here to inquire about intelligence. That one is the Film King, so naturally he won't reveal his secrets. Well, let's communicate after we have a deeper understanding. Orochimaru said. Although not stated, many things, Aizen and Urahara Kazuki, are left to Orochimaru by default. It really surprised me. You guys shouldn't be ordinary. It seems that this time, I should gain a lot. Kahara Jensei also realized that he was a little excited. The mood slowly slowed down, and he said to the three of them with a kind smile. Similarly, these three people also showed the same kind smile. Certainly, Orochimaru nodded. Then, under Kahara Jensei's affectionate greeting, he began to explore the research institute. At the same time, they also discovered that Accelerator was in the treatment cabin. He was going to be the core of our plan, but lost to Mizuki Uzumaki. If Uzumaki Mizuki is willing to replace him and become the core of the plan of the absolute capable person, it would be great. I think he has great potential to become the first LV6 existence. Kahara Jensei said to the three of them. That person's level is above ours, and we can't decide it casually. Let's continue to let this one take the test questions. One from LV5 is enough to take on this responsibility. Orochimaru said hastily. They have been here for a few days, but they haven't actually fought yet. Therefore, it is impossible to analyze how strong LV5 is. But, Uzumaki Mizuki, he's not kidding. So that's the case, then this is the only way to go, what a pity. Kahara Jensei's eyes brightened. He felt as if he had found a lot of news. Does that high school student have a higher status than these three researchers? In Academy City, researchers generally have a higher status. He seems to be recovering from his injuries. Ask for flowers. Can you let me try his strength and see how it is? Are you qualified to serve as the core of this plan? Advertisement. It was Aizen who spoke. These days, I have actually dealt with many magicians. Too weak. He really wasn't interested at all. Good guy, weaker than the average shoe. None that made him feel dangerous. This time he came to the main body, and the avatars stayed in those sects to let him collect information. Finding this guy who was defeated by Wong, he wanted to experiment to see how good the opponent was. He is a LV5 ability user. His ability is vector control. One person is enough to deal with an army. Are you also a super ability user? Kahara Jensei frowned and said. He felt that these people seemed somewhat weird. Point 0, superpower, I should be counted, Aizen said very calmly. At this time, he was wearing a white coat, with his hair down, and he looked similar to the one in Seireno. Kahara Jensei looked at Orochimaru, and the one with the fair hair. Neither was found to be dissuaded. Is that so? If something goes wrong, don't blame me, Kahara-jensei smirked again. He was really curious about the origins of these people. The next battle should be able to expose a lot of things. That guy just knew my ability. Next time, if you don't fight him in close quarters, he won't be able to fight me at all. After Fang Accelerator woke up, his face was full of anger. He felt that his strength had not been brought into play at all. There is a new experiment, do you want to try it? A researcher who seemed a little afraid of Accelerator said to him. HMPH, such a plan is useless at all. To deal with these weaklings, there is no evolution at all. Find that guy, I have to fight him again. Accelerator rolled his eyes and said anxiously. If you beat me, you can go to him, under the leadership of Kahara-jensei. Aizen and his party also appeared in this treatment room. The one who spoke was naturally Aizen, researcher. After losing once, do you even think that you can defeat me? Accelerator sneered. He unabashedly released his killing intent. 212. The curious Kahara-jensei. But Accelerator found out that the other party was still looking at him expressionlessly. This expression reminded him of the blonde man. This made him very unhappy. He picked up the syringe at the side and threw it directly towards Aizen. I'm going to make a hole in this guy's body to see if he can still maintain his current expression. Don't want. The original researchers on the side panicked. They naturally sensed Accelerator's killing intent and were somewhat afraid. After all, they have seen the scene of Accelerator killing the clone so many times. Naturally, they would not suspect that this person would soften his heart. But while they were talking, the syringe was being thrown. With Accelerator's ability, it was almost comparable to a sniper bullet. If you get hit, it's not just as simple as opening a hole. At the very least, if it hits the arm, 723, is enough to directly interrupt it. I feel that he is really not suitable to be the core of this plan. It's too easy to get out of hand a little bit. Aizen received the syringe in his hand very calmly and then spoke. Before coming, he had already learned about the information about Academy City. A lot of information can be found directly on the internet, as if this city is so open and transparent. However, it is basically impossible to expose those dirty things in private. All are hidden in the deepest part. But Aizen naturally didn't take these things seriously. What he did didn't need these people to be noble. You, Kahara-jensei stared at him with wide eyes. He didn't find any signs of the other party using any superpowers. Sure enough, it's not a simple guy. Interesting. It seems that if you want to challenge me, you still have some strength. Accelerator also calmed down here. Just pull out all the needles on your body. Daiwi jumped off the hospital bed directly, then find a place to fight. Not everyone can provoke me. Now I am very angry and with the determination to die, come here again. Accelerator wore a loose hospital gown and walked outside barefoot. Aizen followed calmly. Is it really okay? Kahara Wansheng also saw that the three of them seemed to be dominated by this long-haired man. So, he asked Orochimaru, it's okay, let's go and see together. Orochimaru was also curious. He was outside, and he didn't meet any powerful characters. Then the powerhouse in this world hides very deeply. Advertisement, however, he also locked down a few positions. They are the main churches of several denominations. The Vatican and the Russian Orthodox Church. He was doubting whether the so-called gods of these sects really existed. Soon, a group of people came to an outdoor venue. About half the size of a football field, it is usually used to test some weapons. One accelerator has also been here to test, so it is familiar. Are you ready? Next, I'm going to be serious. Accelerator looked at Aizen and said, he felt the sight of this man, a little annoying. Just like how those people looked at the experimental subjects, they almost didn't treat those clones as human beings. Let's start. Aizen nodded. Boom. Accelerator didn't care about it this time. Step on the ground with your right foot. A stone dragon soared into the sky and rushed towards Aizen. Aizen dodged directly, stepped on the stone dragon, and avoided the attack. He mainly came to test the opponent's hand, not to really fight. He didn't have much interest in this kid. What ability is this researcher? Kahara-jensei asked. He was a little curious. Aizen showed so little. We don't know too well, but he is the strongest among us. Orochimaru didn't hide anything and said directly. Urahara Kazuki was very responsible and started recording directly. Kahara-jensei felt like an outsider. This test lasted about a full hour. Hoo. Accelerator was out of breath, both eyes are red. It looks like it's about to lose control, but, in fact, he almost lost his mind just now. However, there is still no way, can't hit the opponent. When Aizen is not overwhelmed by strength, his IQ is online. He also saw how one party's passing ability was used. Then, he kept avoiding. Always find a gap. The most important thing is that Aizen has influenced Accelerator's cognition through his own ability. Advertisement always misses him. This kind of ability that Accelerator can't recognize can't be reflected at all, so it's easy to be fooled. And every time, it gave Accelerator a feeling that he might hit him at any time. Accelerator, who lost his mind, didn't realize this. Angry, it is easy to let yourself fall into the trap. Mind manipulation? No, even Shokuho's analysis ability can't affect Accelerator. What kind of ability? Kahara-jensei was a little crazy. His curiosity exploded, but the other party did not disclose. Since you like to dodge so much, then try to see if you can dodge my trick. One-way traffic must be opened wide. He's going to blow up the whole venue to the sky. Let's see how this guy can escape. Okay, it can be over. Aizen spoke very directly. Accelerator's eyes instantly lost their brightness. Then, he just stood there blankly. The ability is very good. If you can play better and get to LV6, it should not be a big problem. Aizen spoke from this side. He has already confirmed the strength of this LV5 number 1 player. Stronger than some Arankars, the ability is strong within a controllable range. Orochimaru is also judging based on the strength of the ninja world. He wanted to grab these people and study them carefully. However, it is a little troublesome for things that you don't know. If you reach LV6, you may be able to compete with yourself. Something happened and the director was covering it. Who the hell is that? Orochimaru said very kindly. On Kahara Wansheng's side, some evil thoughts grew. Mainly based on destructive power. Only Kahara Jensei is really on the verge of dying at this time. There is still a distance from Super Cage level. 5.8, LV6, is Super Cage level? Although he knew that LV5 might not be enough to deal with the magic side. Next, I will trouble you. However, it is not such an existence that can be dealt with easily. Anyway, in Academy City, it's not easy for them to leave without emptying your stuff. You're welcome. What can they do? He was eager to know what forces were behind this group of people. 213. Be my woman, I'll help you. Don't you have to go to school? Masaka Makoto asked curiously from the side, but she behaved like a lady. Several subordinates are working hard, while Wong is picking up girls. It feels too boring. It doesn't matter if you don't go. Uzumaki Mizuki said directly. The two were sitting in a drink shop. But Masaka Makoto left school early, and Uzumaki Mizuki didn't go to class at all. Met in the game arcade. Masaka Makoto came first to say hello. So the two sat down here. Ah, your school is really good. The management of Takiwadai is too strict. You can't go without going for a day. Masaka Makoto complained, but the expression is still very happy. That plan doesn't seem to stop, but your clone doesn't seem to continue. However, there is a large amount of stock being produced that may be disposed of. Uzumaki Mizuki this way, go straight to the serious topic. Masaka Makoto's face suddenly became tense. Will you be killed? Masaka Makoto gritted his teeth and said out of control. According to what they said, it should be humane destruction. 2 ways now. One is to take the clone away from them, but you should be asked to pay 25. The other is to kill them directly, and then take away the clones. Uzumaki Mizuki said. The use of clones to continue training accelerators should stop. The effect of cloning is gone. It is better to dispose of the ones that consume resources if they are kept. Is there anything you can do? Can you trade with them? Masaka Makoto asked eagerly. She attributed all the fault of this matter to herself. If he hadn't handed over the cells himself, the other party would not be able to do so, and would not let these clones suffer such pain. She wants to save them. If I do it, I should kill this guy directly. Uzumaki Mizuki said. Miss Masaka has a very important duty. If you intervene in this matter, I don't know if the chairman of the board, Asia Reese Tower, will come to him. But facing his words, Uzumaki Mizuki was naturally not afraid. He is not easy to kill, he hides very deeply. He is an important researcher in Academy City, and he has received the attention of the General Council, so it is very difficult to get rid of him. Masaka Makoto said a little disappointed. It's not like she hasn't thought about it. However, the success rate is too low, and if it succeeds, the Masaka sisters must also find a way to deal with it. Under the surveillance of Academy City, it is basically impossible. Advertisement, be my woman, how about I help you deal with him? Uzumaki Mizuki made the connection dialogue very directly. What? You? Hearing this, Masaka Makoto froze for a moment. Then the little face immediately turned red, and then it seemed to be overheated, and it was very tangled. If you think about it, you can come to me anytime. I can help you, it's not troublesome to deal with that guy. Uzumaki Mizuki smiled, did not continue to say more. Then got up, paid the bill, and waved Makoto Masaka goodbye. Masaka's sister is not at risk now, however, there is still some trouble in this matter. He has no penchant for helping others, however, if it is to help your own woman, then it is incumbent on you. Anyway, if you have confidence, what are you afraid of? However, this world seems a little strange. Uzumaki Mizuki punched on the way home. Looking at the sky curiously, it feels like there is an invisible power slowly exerting on the whole world. The power of rules. Is the demon god moving? Uzumaki Mizuki was a little confused. He can't remember the plot too well, anyway, he knows that it will become more and more exciting in the future. It's just the beginning. The movements in the sky didn't seem to be aimed at him. However, Mizuki still cares a little bit. So, using Flying Thunder God directly, disappeared in Academy City. Then, I found the place where this force appeared. Ordinary people would naturally not be able to detect it, but Uzumaki Mizuki is now extremely sensitive to these matters after receiving the blessing of the power of the divine tree after evolution. The sacred tree has now been treated as the legendary world tree by Uzumaki Mizuki. It is no longer the kind of ninja tree that is milked by Nyantu. It is a true sacred tree that can support a world. Ah, this is it, I remembered. Uzumaki Mizuki came to the destination. Recognized what was going on. Kamijo Tuma's father created an oolong magic circle. He was still holding on to the idea of coming to meet the demon god. But it seems to forget it. It seems that there is an angel. Let's meet it and see how strong it is. Uzumaki Mizuki finally decided, instead of destroying the magic circle, let it continue. Anyway, it won't affect him, so it's not a big problem. These days, Shadow Clone has traveled a lot outside. Churches of several denominations are locked. Thinking that when the time comes, all the books in these churches will be brought to one pot. Advertisement for several days, nothing happened. Masaka Mikoto seems to be thinking hard too. Thinking about it, I just agreed, isn't it too reserved? But, this is for my sisters, should I go find him? It's a bit of a shame. Masaka Mikoto was torn, and Haitsi Shirai at the side seemed to see something. His complexion is not very good. Whenever I have free time, I will keep an eye on Masaka Mikoto. Don't let this woman out of my sight. The three of Orochimaru are very rampant. On Kahara Gensei's side, he still wanted to trick them into revealing their details. Then, influenced by Orochimaru Sharingan and the five senses of Aizen, give direct play to the circle. Around Uzumaki Mizuki, they're daring too. He began to absorb the various data that Kahara Gensei had accumulated over the years. They also understand the world more and more. Although the strength is not very good, but the destructive power is very strong. Aizen looked at the screen and was surprised by the weapons that could be used to attack the orbiting satellites. If he is hit, it cannot be said that he can survive 100%. As for the nuclear bomb, as long as it is not in the center, he feels that there is no problem. It's all superficial strength. Wang's opponent is the most troublesome. Orochimaru followed suit. He also found a lot of data, which can be used in his body modification. From this world, he has almost found a way to mend his soul. At this time, his strength is actually several times stronger than when he left the ninja world. It's worthless, you can leave. Are you going to the magic side? Although blocked by many things, he still found it. Ask the king what he means. Uzumaki and Mizuki just let them understand the composition of the world's abilities, and nothing was arranged for the rest. Would you like to try it out? During this period of time, in addition to studying here, he also went outside for a while. Urahara Kazuki also nodded. There are many interesting things in this world, and this is just the beginning. Found a building with no windows. Aizen also nodded in agreement. He had nearly found the location of the Tower of Reese. I feel the strongest in the city. Aizen is not safe here. He also gained a lot. Urahara Kazuki followed. Only when it comes to the level of strength of the Spirit King can it be helpful. Orochimaru is more afraid of Uzumaki Mizuki. However, it feels that it is not very helpful for conquering this world. 214. Aizen vs. Asia Reese Tower. Want to find the chairman of this academy city? Uzumaki Mizuki put down the handle and looked at the three of them with some surprise. However, seeing the appearance of these three people, I felt that it was normal, and it happened to be something they would do. His strength, I can't be sure, but it should be the level of old man Yamamoto. Aizen may be able to fight. From him, I can indeed learn a lot of information. I guarantee that the demon god will not interfere with you, and I will not care about the rest. Uzumaki Mizuki continued. He doesn't want to make a big fuss just yet. The demon gods usually don't have much interest in this world, and if they are interested, they just squeeze out a clone that the world can hold to the limit to move out. Because they also avoided destroying this world. After all, it is not that simple to restore this world. But, if known to them, there are other worlds that exist. Then they will be different. Like Shinigami's world, they have been confined to this world for too long, and when they find out that there is a new world, they will immediately have ideas about Otherworld, just like the members of the Zero Division team. Therefore, Uzumaki Mizuki is not prepared to expose too much before refreshing the next points. In a few days, I plan to send a clone back, let him deal with the matter, and then it will dissipate automatically. Except for these 4 people, I don't plan to bring more people over. Excuse me, King, Aizen et al. Are grateful. They feel that Uzumaki Mizuki will not deceive themselves. But if you only face an enemy at the level of old man Yamamoto. Aizen is very interested in trying it out. Orochimaru and Urahara Kazuki, who also have their own cards, want to follow suit. They got a lot of things from the Kahara Phantom Research Institute. Mainly on various data. In Academy City, it is almost the most complete development of abilities, and it is almost a similar method to exert the strongest effects of abilities. Rather than relying on instinct, all 3 of them obtained a lot of calculation formulas and found many suitable methods for them. They naturally have some ideas about the chairman of Academy City. By the way, before leaving, control Kahara Gensei and let him hand over the handling of those clones to Masaka Mikoto. Uzumaki Mizuki said finally. The girl never came to him. He felt that his charm had declined. However, now, he doesn't want to waste time doing things that are easy to do next time. Just let the people under you handle this matter. But when it comes to more important things, then he is not going to intervene. Yes. The 3 of them naturally had no opinion. Advertisement. Then Aizen directly opened the space door and left here. At the same time, what disappeared together was the enchantment. All three of them discovered the loop in the air, so naturally they didn't want to be watched. Arranging the enchantment is to block the enemy's investigation. A very mysterious group of people, and they haven't found out what kind of power the other party is. Also, it doesn't feel like a Rubik's Cube, but it doesn't have an ATM diffusion field, and it's not an ability user either. Do you want to clean up this group of accidents in advance? Sub-Reese Tower upside down in a jar. Looking at the picture of the Uzumaki Mizuki high-end apartment building, I thought about it. The other party has been implicated in an important part of his plan. Construction of the Masaka network. He didn't want the plan to go awry. Okay. Did you come to the door yourself? Reese Tower found, outside the building where he was hiding. The three guys who sneaked into the Kahara Research Institute appeared around. There is no such thing as before, hiding his meaning. Among the three, all agree that Aizen is the strongest. But the second most powerful are Orochimaru and Urahara Kazuki, no one knows. However, they all have the confidence to save their lives in this situation, so if someone wants to make a fuss, they choose to do it together. Whoever grabs the opponent will do it first, and take the big one. Aizen said directly. He thinks this one is very helpful to himself. At the same time, he also wanted to see how far Orochimaru and Urahara Kazuki could do it. If he doesn't have that qualification, he won't be too polite in the future. Can. Orochimaru nodded. Urahara Kazuki on the side also had no comment. Then, Urahara Kazuki took out a handful of what looked like Zanpakuto and held it in his hand. Hado no 90 black coffin, Aizen chanted directly. In an instant, the dark wall directly covered the windowless building. 4 purple flame formation. On Orochimaru's side, a barrier was also arranged. Just to cover this building. The 3 white phosphorus snakes he improved were used as a medium to release. A hole was left. The 3 of them went directly from the hole to the bottom of the building. Okay. Advertisement before the 3 of them were ready to destroy the building. Suddenly, someone appeared beside them. Wearing a green outfit that looks like a hospital gown, holding a wand that looks like a flower in his hand. Shock wand. I wanted to go to you directly, but I didn't expect you to come to me so soon. Reese Tower's voice seemed a little weird, but looking at the expressions of the 3 of Aizen, they were very calm. After all, his target is the demon god. Without 2 brushes, it is impossible for him to do this. Interesting. Leave him to me to deal with. On Aizen's side, I can feel the same kind of breath. But again, so is the snake. Only Urahara Kazuki has more fetters involved, and does not have these 2 pervert feelings. But Orochimaru and Urahara Kazuki, both cooperatively took a step back. It seems that I have been underestimated, Reese Tower said calmly. At the same time, the whole person disappeared instantly. Appeared again, between Orochimaru and Urahara Kazuki. Snapped, one arm, dropped, Deiduo How, and landed on the ground. A smile appeared on his face. What ability is this? Regeneration? He considers himself to be at the top of both the magic side and the science side. As for Orochimaru and Urahara Kazuki, the faces of the 2 were very serious. No chanting magic. They didn't react just now, it was cut down directly, and at the same time, the strength was perfectly controlled, and it did not affect other parts. In this world, except for demon gods, he should be able to see through everything at a glance. This time, the pupils of Reese Tower shrank a little. Aizen said with a smile. At the same time, a new arm grew directly from the wound on his severed arm. With a surprised look on Aizen's face, he turned around and looked at Aizen Reese Tower. It is Aizen. But this ability is very strange, there is also no ATM diffusion field. Orochimaru said directly, you are really amazing. 215. One is deeper than the other hidden, they are all old women. Boom. At the same time, a strong aura erupted from Aizen immediately. He is enhancing his Ryatsu. Before coming over, he restricted himself. After all, his usual Ryatsu is enough to easily shake a human soul to death. And also to travel to the other world. Naturally, the smaller the Ryatsu, the better, so as not to attract attention. All 3 did this. Orochimaru and Urahara Kazuki also lifted their restrictions without hesitation. Reese Tower's face became slightly dignified. I'm afraid it doesn't. Mainly unknown. In this world, there are forces that do not belong to the science side and the magic side. You guys, what is the origin? A puppet made by a demon god? Reese towered over here and asked directly, if you win, don't you know? If you lose, your accumulation also belongs to us. Aizen grinned and said directly to Asia Reese Tower. At the same time, hold it in your hand. A long sword completely composed of spiritual particles appeared in his hand. Lingza cluster. The power of the destroyer, it's interesting, so be it. Your origins seem very mysterious. Reese Tower also agreed to this condition. Boom. The voice fell. The scepter of Reese Tower collided with Aizen's long sword. The impact directly broke through the top of the black coffin and directly spread towards the high altitude. The 2 collided quickly in this narrow place. Reese Tower fell into the downwind. Originally, he was not very good at this aspect. After all, he used to be a magician. Shocking staff. So, Reese Tower began to use his wand. In an instant, the power that erupted immediately increased dramatically. Splitting void. Single shield. Aizen released Kido in defense continuously. But the impact broke through these two barriers in an instant. Finally, after Aizen released about 100 single shields, the regiment withstood the impact released by the Reese Tower. A completely different power really makes people curious. Orochimaru is very excited. He has gained a lot from Shinigami, Quincy and Shu. If the power of this world can also gain something, he feels that his strength will double. Aizen is in a hard fight. Advertisement. This person is really strong. Urahara Kazuki also followed suit. At the same time, CFDF's cognition of Uzumaki Mizuki is even more important. Uzumaki Mizuki knew much more than them, however, it doesn't feel like Juhabak's servants are all-knowing and omnipotent. There are only so many possibilities left. He is a little impetuous. Yari's tower was also surprised by Aizen's strength. Aizen is also very serious. He didn't want to miss here. After all, there were two companions here. Your strength is more like obtained from the world. It's more direct, without the detours of magic, and without the calculation of abilities. Very funny. On the side of Reese Tower, they fought for a while, but also gained something. He has been analyzing what the opponent's strength is. In the end, it was discovered that after the formation of the magic circle, it was very similar to the power completely composed of the world. This made him more and more suspicious that these people were actually demon gods. It only takes 1/10 of my consumption to exert the same power. You are also very powerful. Aizen also followed suit. He found that the other party had never shot with all his strength. Although he didn't either, the opponent was obviously more relaxed than him. Belonging to that demon god? Nuada? Or Tezcatlipoca? Yari's Tower asked directly. He has always wanted to deal with these demon gods and wipe them out. Restore the world to normal. Instead of being manipulated by these demon gods like a toy. Revenge at the same time, the revenge of losing his own daughter. Beat me, and you'll know. Aizen is also an old Yinbi. At this time, I naturally pretended that I knew it well. In fact, it was just gathering information. Orochimaru and Urahara Kazuki wrote down the two names. I plan to find out if there are any traces of these two demon gods existing in this world. Okay then. Yari's towered eyelids. At the same time, the right hand held the impact stick in his hand like a western sword. Beside the palm, strange sparks and numbers appeared. Aizen's pupils narrowed as he saw the wand transform into a western sword. But in the hands of Orochimaru and Urahara Kazuki, nothing changed. I thought this person was going to use the wand as a weapon. After all, they have seen Zanpakuto grotesques a lot, so they don't have any doubts. Aizen's body was divided into two directly from the waist. Orochimaru and Urahara Kazuki on the side were really scared this time. After all, Aizen looks totally serious. Advertisement. Speak. The next blow is the head, Asia Reese Tower said very calmly. This trick is called a spiritual stumble. It can only be used on one person, and let the other party fall into the destruction of his own imagination. No distance limit. It is a control technique that connects one's body to another's body like an ancient magic doll and a person, and makes the other party perform the same actions as oneself. Applying this trick can penetrate into other people's brains, and even cooperate with gestures to drive the designated weapon and its power into the target's head. Let the body respond. Are you sure you hit me? But suddenly, it was Reese Tower who was surprised. The arm holding the shock rod fell to the ground. Aizen appeared behind him. Holding the Lingza long sword in his hand, he cut off Reese Tower's arm. No more Zanpakuto, but still such a strong effect. Kyoka Suigetsu. Urahara Kazuki's face was heavy. He didn't notice it just now, although something feels wrong. However, there was no doubt at all. Very funny. You actually lied to me, possibilities that are not of this world. You are entitled to see me, come in from here, Yari's Tower spoke. At the same time, the arm that fell on the ground began to flicker, and then disappeared in front of the three of them like a phantom. After speaking, this Asia Reese Tower, the same, disappeared like a phantom. Good guy. This time, the three of Aizen were stunned. The three of them haven't really exerted their strength yet. 3 Shadow Clone, go directly to the entrance, ready to meet the real Yari's Tower. Everyone nodded, but they felt that this person was indeed as Wong said. Just a phantom? Before Aizen spoke, he directly opened the enchantment. Looking not far away, there was a building with windows and the entrance appeared. The black enchantment disappeared. Great, use Shadow Clone. I saw Aizen abuse that LV5 number 1 before, and I thought this world was nothing more than this. Orochimaru said. Urahara Kazuki has some doubts about life. Orochimaru was excited. Want to go? 3 shadow clones were made, and the main body left directly by breaking the space door through Aizen. Then, under the cover of a pitch-black barrier, but now, he was a little flustered. 216. The world is like a system, so, after you opened your mouth and said that the target is also a demon god, the other party is willing to exchange information? Get a basic introduction about demon god, and some knowledge about magic and science? Uzumaki Mizuki looked at Urahara Kazuki with some surprise. Yes, King. The opponent's target is also a demon god. And I feel that it doesn't seem to have too much influence on our conquest of this world. After knowing that our target is also a demon god, he is not too radical. After a while of communication, we exchanged understandings about our own strength. What we paid was the method of manipulating spiritual power, and he handed over some research on the magic side and the science side. Urahara Kazuki replied. He is very observant. When Aizen fights this guy. I found out that when the other party talked about the demon god, he was a little bit excited. I kept asking them which demon god sent them, so he guessed that the other party and the demon god should not be in the same group. In this case, there is a basis for cooperation. After entering the building, he saw Yari's tower, and after he directly stated that their target was also a demon, Yari's tower became a little more friendly. Then start the negotiation. Orochimaru assists. Aizen is a little weaker in this aspect, he prefers to use strong. Or drag others into the water together and have to form a team with him. Urahara Kazuki and Orochimaru too, hide and flicker. The method of demagoguery is very powerful, join forces together. I still talked about the old Yinbi of Yari's tower. However, the other party didn't welcome us here, thinking that it would disturb him, and asked us to leave. Aizen said, however, he didn't have much interest in staying here. Now the three of them want to do research. Having acquired so much knowledge, they all have an urge to strengthen themselves immediately. Our agreement does not include Wong, Orochimaru added. The trade was just the three of them in Yari's tower, and Uzumaki and Mizuki were not involved. Then it's up to you. If there is something to do, I will look for you. When you get the data, remember to sort it out and write it plainly. When the time comes, it will be handed over to the people who will come to work later. Uzumaki Mizuki said, fighting, he will not let these people do it. Anyway, he was buzzing around, as long as he didn't bother him. Yes. Advertisement. All three of them decided to strengthen themselves. Naturally, there is no opinion at this time. There seems to be some strange changes outside. However, I don't know where it is, Orochimaru, before getting up to leave, said to Uzumaki Mizuki. Someone arranged a magic circle and at the same time changed the rules and distorted the phase. It can directly distort the level of the upper angel to the lower angel, and directly modify the opponent's strength. It's probably equivalent to, I can now directly modify the rules so that you can't use Jonzi. Uzumaki Mizuki poured the cola that was on the coffee table into a glass that was ready to be filled with ice cubes. The words that were spoken made all three of them stiffen. The difference in strength, is this done by humans? Aren't they those demon gods? Aizen pays attention to blind spots. Hastily asked. If humans can do it, so can he too. This world is more than a computer system. There is a data, unconsciously discovered a rule that can modify the system, that's all. Devil God, it is the authority of the administrator. Ares Tower, I think it is because I want to destroy the authority of these demon gods. Only by destroying their authority can the demon god be completely killed, otherwise, it will not be successful at all. Uzumaki Mizuki figuratively said. Now it feels like the ninja world is wider, and there is no such sense of oppression in these two worlds. An inescapable prison, therefore, these demon gods can only enjoy themselves while suffering. Keep the world intact and avoid being destroyed. If King Ling hadn't been unconscious, he didn't have much choice at the time, at most he could escape by keeping himself immortal. Ninja world, is it the real world? Aizen asked curiously. He had been there once, and felt that there was no sense of oppression in his own world at all. It feels like galaxies are everywhere, maybe it's just a larger system. You don't have the strength yet, try your best to become stronger, here, it's just the beginning. Uzumaki Mizuki said. The reality was too cruel, and he was afraid that these people would not be able to accept it. Ask for flowers, no one can admit that he is just a paperman. Advertisement. Aizen didn't say any more, he bowed slightly to show his respect. The same goes for Orochimaru and Urahara Kazuki. They originally thought that the harvest from the Yari's tower seemed to be very large. But found that there is no use at all, the three left. They are ready to do their own thing, strengthen yourself. The Yari's tower gave a lot of things, and these things didn't seem to be of much value to the Yari's tower. But for the three of them, there are many inspirations and things that can even be used. The two worlds of Ninja World and Shinigami lack foundation. What you study is limited to your own vision. This world obviously looks much smarter. 0. It is completely different from the Ninja World, which relies on blood, and Shinigami relies on Zanpakuto's rapid advancement method. This time, they want to strengthen their foundation. It has worked. Want to take a look? Uzumaki Mizuki went out and saw the distorted crowd outside. It feels like the magic circle should be fully formed. It took a long time to find this possibility. He felt that this person was more dangerous. Last night, I watched the three of Aizen disappear into Academy City through the cracked space door. As for the Reese Tower, I don't want my artificial heaven plan to fail. Do you want to solve this Angel's Fallen magic circle? Before disappearing, he glanced at midair and then disappeared directly in place. Except for abusing Accelerator, he hasn't done much yet. What is his identity among those three people? Yari's Tower has been paying attention to the situation of Uzumaki Mizuki. This is an important part he uses to seize authority. If you mess with it casually, it will destroy the world. But this person has always been here. For this reason, he did a lot of tricks, just to hide this plan. He is going to go over to see how strong this angel is. This world is very skilled in involving rules through magic. Use this time to spread the Misaka network, however, I don't know where the danger is. Sure enough, you found me, 217, I want this ability. What happened? Kamijo is almost numb, it felt like the world was getting too weird. Index, why did you turn into that blue hair, too disgusting. Oh, where is your sister? Kamijo Toya wondered. But immediately, I was taken aback for a moment, and then I went to talk about another matter. Good guy, after becoming like this, I'm almost going to be taken advantage of by this dog. Uzumaki Mizuki looked at the girl next to him who passed out like Misaka Makoto. Glad I came in time. This magic caused everyone to change their appearance, but under the cognition of ordinary people, there was nothing wrong. Although it wasn't Misaka Makoto himself who came over, he felt that if he let this pick-up hand approach him like this, he would still feel like a backstab. Younger sister? Where is Odahime? Kamijo Tuma was puzzled and said, 087? She didn't come. Forget it, let's go to rest first, soak in the hot spring directly at night. On Kamijo Toya's side, said, okay. Kamijo Tuma felt something was wrong. Obviously you said it first. Fortunately, Tsuchimikado, Kanzaki Kaori and others all followed. They are responsible for protecting Index. Found something wrong, and began to research why it was. Uzumaki Mizuki put the girl in the hotel and made an invisible enchantment, which will be untied automatically when the time comes tomorrow. It really doesn't work for him. Hypnosis. Uzumaki Mizuki looked at Kamijo Tuma in the distance, very calm. The opponent's hand is like a talisman that breaks the precepts of all things that is running all the time. It should be at the same level as the talisman of breaking the commandments of all things. But it also depends on who is using this thing. Now Uzumaki Mizuki can break it without this prop. That arm, helping him, blocked some invisible influence, including the physical changes of this angelic fall. However, Uzumaki Mizuki did not give up. Try using more impact to see how the arm looks. At the same time, he was looking to see if it was an old perverted true god who chose to hide in the world of mortals. Choose to pick up girls to have a good time, okay? Kamijo Tuma found that his arm seemed to have played a role. But, advertisement he didn't touch anything. It is more extreme than the talisman that breaks the commandments of all things, and it directly clears up the uncertainties beyond the basic rules. Instead of breaking the talisman of the commandments of all things, setting goals for destruction, there are two forms. Uzumaki Mizuki confirmed, then he didn't do much more. Because, he found out, that angel came over. The smell from the body is completely different. Uzumaki Mizuki's perception ability is very strong now, he feels that there are slight fluctuations around this person. It seems that today, there shouldn't be a fight. Take a rest first, and then intervene tomorrow depending on the situation. Uzumaki Mizuki thought about it and decided to do so. After watching for a while in the afternoon, I found that these people were still looking for the murderer. So, Uzumaki Mizuki directly checked into the same hotel. Check-in is done at the entrance. The four who came back found Uzumaki Mizuki who was checking in directly. This person, Tsuchimikado looked at Uzumaki Mizuki, frowning directly. He recognized Uzumaki Mizuki, this Academy City's newly promoted LV5. Moreover, he did not find any intelligence about this person. Unexpectedly, it would appear here at this time. Uzumaki Mizuki glanced at several people, then walked into the hotel very calmly and went to his room. What's the matter, you know him? Kanzaki Kaori was puzzled. She noticed that Tsuchimikado's expression was not right. This person is the new LV5 in Academy City, however, it should be that the body has been changed. Tu Yumun said, but it feels a bit too coincidental. Is the question the target of suspicion? Misha, that is, the angel, asked directly. The opponent is a superpower, not a magician, and cannot complete this magic. Tsuchimikado said directly. Misha didn't say much. A group of people entered the hotel and began to discuss the possibility. Uzumaki Mizuki is very relaxed. Open your eyes and look at a few people from time to time, and pay attention to things that you haven't noticed. The second is to play games. He was directly in the hotel room, where the TV and game consoles were placed, and he played directly. Good guy, this figure, advertisement however, while playing the game, Uzumaki Mizuki was surprised suddenly. Because following Kamijo Tuma's figure, I saw Kanzaki Kaori changing clothes. This ability. I wanted a little bit. Uzumaki Mizuki takes a deep breath. Let the mood slow down, but at night, Tien Yumun came to the door. He still felt something was wrong. So come here to try it out and dispel your doubts. Oh, sorry, I went to the wrong door. Tsuchimikado directly pushed open the door of the room with his terrible acting skills. Then, I saw Uzumaki Mizuki playing games on a 100-inch TV. This made him stop what he wanted to say next. Wrong way, why don't you close the door? Uzumaki Mizuki said calmly. Tsuchimikado showed the door in embarrassment. But when he closed the door, his face darkened. Good guy. What a 100-inch TV in this old hotel. It looks like it has just been placed, and the wiring has not yet been placed. Is there a problem? Kanzaki Kaori waited at the side. She naturally knew that Tsuchimikado had no combat capability. After discussing for a long time just now, I couldn't find anyone who might be listed as the caster. That person, there is a problem. If there is no wrong guess, then there are only two possibilities. One is that he is the real person, and the other is that he has changed his appearance and is a powerful character who is also attracted by this place. Tsuchimikado said his own judgment with a serious expression on his face. This kind of inability to judge the existence of the other party by appearance is very troublesome. Isn't he superhuman? Then, it should be the second possibility of 5.9, is it a magician, or was the body replaced by another superpower? Kanzaki Kaori said. While they were talking, Kai Sha also appeared. Solution 1. Just try it out and you will know, the other party may be related to the caster. Misha said directly. Then, holding a weapon similar to a jigsaw in his hand, he walked directly towards Uzumaki Mizuki's room. Tsuchimikado hesitated for a moment, but he did not stop. Then, I saw that Misha was thrown out like a cannonball, smashed through the wall of the house, and flew out. Tsuchimikado and Kanzaki Kaori shrank their pupils. Then he looked in shock at the direction Misha flew out of. The discussion is too loud. When I play games, I don't want to be disturbed. Uzumaki Mizuki's voice came from the room. 218. Versus Angel, don't bully you with Remnant Fire Teidao. But it didn't wait for Tsuchimikado and Kanzaki Kaori to react. Misha made a counterattack here. Dozens of ice crystals made of seawater condensed directly and smashed towards the hotel. He didn't pay attention to the safety of other people at all, and was ready to kill the person who hit him in one fell swoop. She sensed danger from that person. How could there be such a person among human beings? However, Shenluo Tianzheng, who was directly covering the hotel, destroyed these ice crystals directly. Is that the magician? Kanzaki Kaori placed his slender fingers on the handle of the knife. Ready to go anytime. As long as Tsuchimikado said yes, she was ready to cut. Unless he is not a superpower, otherwise, he cannot be a caster. Maybe, he has some way to avoid the influence, and he also found here, but how did the other party know these things? Same as myself, a spy sent by the magic side, Tsuchimikado said quickly. The science side and the magic side are incompatible. If the opponent is a magician, it is impossible to obtain the title of LV5 in Academy City. Universal pull. But the scene was much more complicated than they thought. Seeing that Misha is still not forgiving, Uzumaki Mizuki is going to test the quality of this angel by himself. Just open your hand and pinch. Misha's body was uncontrollable, and she rushed towards Uzumaki Mizuki directly. Clatter. Kanzaki swung his sword. The speed is extremely fast, her slash exceeds the speed of sound. However, knowing that the person inside was not an enemy, she didn't attack with all her strength. He slashed directly in front of Mi Sha, trying to stop him. She didn't see that Misha was tied up by anything, and thought it was the same props as the silk thread she used to tie Misha up. But nothing was cut. On Misha's side, it's not helpless. The 6 wings behind her, made of ice crystals made of seawater, waved towards Uzumaki Mizuki. But being directly crushed by the same number of truth-seeking balls didn't have any effect at all. Then the truth-seeking ball directly tied Misha's body. For a while, Misha couldn't break free at all. It disturbed my interest. Are you ready to accept it? Uzumaki Mizuki is wearing a very simple attire. With a t-shirt and shorts, he looked like a boy next door. Advertisement, but several people on the field looked at him very warily. Kanzaki Kaori and Tsuchimikado both had serious expressions. What's wrong? Kamijo Tuma appeared anxiously. Seeing that Misha was bound in midair, he couldn't help being shocked. You are Uzumaki Mizuki himself. Can you tell us why you haven't been replaced? Tsuchimikado asked directly. He really couldn't guess what was going on with this matter. If you don't figure it out, it will be difficult to deal with it next. Whether it should be killed or not is not a simple matter. How can this level of power affect me? I wasn't interested in intervening so early, but since you guys came to me on your own initiative, Angel, let me see your strength. If it satisfies me, I can help destroy this magic. Uzumaki Mizuki spoke directly. Being implicated, he didn't know if it was because of Kamijo Tuma's hand. However, what does it matter? Hear this description from Uzumaki Mizuki. Everyone on the field looked at him in shock. Do you know who cast this spell? Stop it first, otherwise the world may be destroyed. Kamijo Tuma said anxiously. Angel. Kanzaki and Tsuchimikado looked at Misha, who was locked in midair in surprise. They all thought that Misha was a member of the Russian sect, but he just changed his body. However, I never thought that the other party was actually the target of this magic, an angel. Question 1. Are you really not a caster? Question 2. If you beat you, tell me who is the caster. Misha also followed suit. There are so many myths, why do you think that an unused one can destroy the world? There's no need to answer you, because you don't have the qualifications yet. Uzumaki Mizuki said to Kamijo Tuma and Misha respectively. This matter. Boom. Kamijo Tuma still wanted to say something with his mouth. Misha on the side didn't have such a good temper. Behind it, a very complicated magic circle was directly transformed, and azure blue light began to emerge. The truth-seeking ball tied to her was actually frozen and then shattered. In the night sky, her abilities were already strengthened. Uzumaki Mizuki snapped his fingers, Advertisement. He took Misha directly and disappeared into the hotel. After all, he didn't want the hotel owner to lose everything. Emerge directly on the sand. This angel, using is about water abilities. Therefore, let the opponent show the strongest strength, this place is very good. This magic circle will bring destruction. I won't hold anything back, before you die, tell me who cast the spell. The magic circle behind Misha's side spread directly to a huge size. Almost all the sky is covered. Under the moonlight, the magic is very dazzling. Don't underestimate anyone, Uzumaki Mizuki was talking. At the same time, he drew out the sword of vowed victory from the treasure house of the king. Still, this sword is easy to use. If you use the residual fire sword, it feels a bit too bullying the angel 780. After all restraint, with the sword of vowed victory, he can use it more easily. Whoosh whoosh, the Misha people don't talk harshly. Dozens of huge ice crystals are shot directly towards Uzumaki Mizuki. Curry stick. A golden light swept across the air directly. In an instant, these ice crystals were turned into nothingness. The strength of these ice crystals is only slightly harder than steel. Red rings appeared in Misha's pupils, like the angel eyes in mythology. The sea water directly forms a tornado and rises. Dozens of huge waterspouts continue to head towards Uzumaki Mizuki. Unexpectedly, she is actually an angel. Kanzaki Kaori also quickly rushed to the battlefield. But she didn't intervene right away. After all, M.I. Shaw and M.I. Shaw are not real comrades in arms, and she is not stupid and sweet, so easy to believe. That person is more dangerous. What's the origin? It doesn't feel like a superpower at all. I can't see through what kind of ability it is. Tsuchimikado is more concerned about Uzumaki Mizuki. Don't these people think that the world will be destroyed? Only Kamijo Tuma was in a hurry, a look of compassion. 219. Angel is antivirus software. Dozens of seawater tornadoes formed a huge ice dragon, rushing towards Uzumaki Mizuki. But the result is the same. The golden light directly devoured it. It's similar to using the power of nature, but it feels more direct to form ice cubes. Is it because of these magic circles? Uzumaki Mizuki looked calm. He also stood in midair, confronting Mizun. At the same time, Misha's ability was analyzed. The hidden Rinnegan and Tensigan are watching the magic circle. It feels like these magic circles are like codes. After it is formed, it will be able to manipulate the world, that is, the system will play a certain role. The artificial celestial world that Ya-Reese Tower wants to make. It is equivalent to re-establishing a special system. F*K Windows. Mortal, unforgivable. On Misha's side, the speech is getting shorter and shorter. As if losing human emotion, Tien Fen is ruthless. In the night sky, flames suddenly appeared. That is, meteor fire shower. This is the scene of the destruction of the world in the prophecy. Tsuchimikado raised his head, looking at what happened in the sky in surprise. He couldn't help saying in shock. Do you want to intervene? Stop this magic as soon as possible, that's the most important thing to do now. Kanzaki Kaori spoke from this side. His eyes kept staring at the red dots in the sky that were gradually enlarging in his eyes. At the very least, it is necessary to block the meteorites that will affect the surrounding ordinary people. Looking at the number, she felt the pressure. Boom. But that golden light pierced the night sky again. Almost directly illuminates the night. Those red dots in the sky were all destroyed before landing. This power, Tsuchimikado felt that there was no way he could escape the shock. What exactly is the ability? Why is this person so strong? Where the hell is it? Kanzaki Kaori's face became serious. She couldn't guarantee that she would be able to take the blow just now. Amazing. Kamijo Tuma sat slumped on the ground. He felt that those meteorites falling down were enough to kill him easily. He, who came out to avoid the limelight, never thought that he would be implicated in such a troublesome matter. Advertisement, if that's all it is, then you're gone. Uzumaki Mizuki lowered his eyelids, and calmly said to Misha not far away. It feels impossible to approach the level of Aizen. From the old man Yamamoto, there is naturally a lot of gap. Stupid mortals. The gods are not something you can spy on. Misha seemed a little irritated. Behind him, 6 wings completely made of ice crystals appeared again. At the same time, a large amount of seawater gathered in her palm. Then slowly formed a crystal-clear cross-long sword held in her palm. Don't stop them yet. Why do you want to fight? It's because you want to stop this magic. Kamijo Tuma said he didn't understand. Don't we all have the same purpose? Why do you want to fight to the death here? The angel is angry. She wants to use the real power of God to solve the other party. Tsuchimikado felt that it was very difficult. Want to help any of them? Kanzaki Kaori asked. She is actually not very good at judging the situation. If Misha is not an angel, she must have helped her, but the other party is not a human being. And she is not familiar with the people on the human side. However, the other party didn't seem to have too much malice, and it seemed more like they were coming for the angel. Big Sister Head, are you okay? Tsuchimikado asked seriously. After all, such a battle feels like it can destroy a town at any time. Although I know that Kanzaki Kaori is the reincarnation of a saint. But after all, he has not yet reached the level of a true saint. It doesn't matter, at this time, there is no time to think so much. Kanzaki Kaori replied. Holding his own weapon in his hand, he was ready to do it. Kamijo Tuma got up, and said with a serious face, I will help too. Then protect everyone, avoid their attacks, and affect ordinary people. The angel's goal is to destroy the magic circle, but now the only one who knows the caster is that person. But now it seems that the strength of the opponent is far stronger than that of the angel, and he has not used his true strength at all. If the angel can win, then the magic will end. If the angel loses, then the biggest risk will be resolved. So, not intervening is the best choice, but their fighting level is too strong, and it can easily affect ordinary people. These are the things we have to do. Tsuchimikado analyzed directly. No matter which side intervenes, it feels like there is no benefit. It is the best choice to let them decide the outcome by themselves. Advertisement therefore, this is Tsuchimikado's judgment. It is good. Kanzaki Kaori trusts his companions very much. At this time, she will not have any hesitation. He directly pulled out the long knife that was slightly longer than his long legs, and stopped directly at the position closest to the battlefield. Weapons contain the power to destroy. Is Angel an antivirus? Uzumaki and Mizuki just watched the angel condense his unique skills, without any panic. This power of destruction feels too weak. It is far less powerful than the destructive power obtained by fusing the three powers of Shinigami Quincy and Shu. Aizen, along with Orochimaru and Urahara Kazuki, all three have done research in this area. For Ichigo's side, he started training under the guidance of Urahara Kazuki. Uzumaki Mizuki also did not interfere. He himself also mastered this power. After all, there is a sacred tree that absorbs the power of the Spirit King, so there is no problem in using the three kinds of power. Is that the true power of angels, a weapon capable of destroying anything? Tsuchimikado looked at Misha in midair with a solemn expression. He knew that the next step would be to decide the winner. Tsuchimikado, how do you know so much? Kamijo Tuma was puzzled. I feel that my classmate is too mysterious. Zhao Haohao. Know so many things. Obviously when I was in class, I was sleeping. Coming. Kanzaki Kaori didn't look sideways either. Blocking will spread to ordinary aftermath, and it will definitely appear under this blow. She is fully attentive and ready to answer any questions. But suddenly, his eyes went dark. When I looked clearly again, I found that the two people in midair were gone. What happened? Tsuchimikado was dumbfounded. This is not the result he expected. Just now, those two people just disappeared. It was Kamijo Tuma who spoke. Only he saw the specifics. The manipulation of the five senses has no effect on him. It only covered the vision of Tsuchimikado and Kanzaki Kaori. What happened? Tsuchimikado began to doubt himself. Feel like you haven't woken up. How it happened is something that I can't understand. Unreasonable. 220. The wonderful function of the world tree. Big sister head, you have recovered. Tsuchimikado was startled. Because he saw Kanzaki Kaorihara in person, not the red-haired guy with the barcode tattooed on his face. There is only one reason for this, and that is that the fall of the angels has been lifted. Has the spell been lifted? Kanzaki Kaori said in surprise. Too fast. Did that person solve it? Kamijo Tuma asked curiously. Because of the feeling, there is only this possibility. After all, just now, he saw with his own eyes that the two of them disappeared in midair. Instead of the blonde being killed by an angel, is he the caster? Kanzaki Kaori's tone was full of surprise. After all, according to Tsuchimikado's words, the other party should be a person with superpowers, who can't use magic at all. The only person with the ability to use magic, her cognition, is only Tsuchimikado. It should be that he solved the caster, or broke the magic circle. However, that is a very complicated magic circle. In such a short period of time, he still has to deal with angels. How did he solve it? Did the caster undo it himself? Tsuchimikado shook his head, denying Kanzaki Kaori's words. 793 also expressed his own judgment. The opponent's ability is not magic at all, otherwise he can see it. Here is. Different space. Who are you? You can't be human. Misha's body gradually transformed and returned to the appearance of an angel. 3 pairs of wings appeared from behind. The whole person also seems to be that kind of cold and desireless existence. The appearance is indeed very capable, and when it comes to debut, there are definitely not a few people who lick the screen. Uzumaki Mizuki remotely breaks the angel fall spell. Open a space channel directly, and then stretch out the talisman that breaks the commandments of all things and touch it casually. Then, he directly forcibly brought Misha to the different space he created. This space is made up of the world tree. Attached to him is a real space. But here, it is still nothingness, nothing. Try again, use the power just now. Uzumaki Mizuki spoke. Advertisement. He wanted to try to see if this angel could still use the destructive power just now after changing the world. Impossible. The power of Tien Zijian lies in the medicine. Misha said in surprise. Looking at the long cross sword that had just condensed in his hand, it actually started to disappear from the tip of the sword. Boom. A repulsive force rushed directly towards Misha. Misha held up the cross sword whose body had disappeared until only half of it met the impact. The whole person was still directly sent flying. Uzumaki Mizuki is constantly experimenting with Misha's combat capabilities. It was found that the strength has dropped a lot. It can't be compared to just now, it's over. Uzumaki and Mizuki didn't waste time either. A blue-white light directly penetrated Misha's body. Then Misha's body, like the long cross sword that had disappeared in his hand, slowly turned into particles and disappeared in this world. God will punish you, revenge will come soon. Misha's tone was still the same as before. There was no fluctuation, it looked like a robot talking. Uzumaki Mizuki is not rare to answer, watching this angel disappear. It works. World Tree, the speed of adapting to the laws of this world has become faster. Uzumaki Mizuki's eyes lit up slightly. These days, he doesn't do nothing. It's just that he doesn't need to do anything to do it. He transplanted a clone of the World Tree and planted it in this world. Just like a hacker, he threw a broiler into the opponent's fleet. At the same time, this broiler is adapting to the environment of these clusters, and finally, it is even able to come over and erode these clusters. In the range that the World Tree can cover, I can also do it, turning the matter of 1 + 1 + 3 into reality. CFDC. Dead people can also be resurrected again, and even reverse time and speed up time. Uzumaki Mizuki said while opening and closing the test. Resurrect Misha who was just killed, then, kill it again. Then use time rewind, time speeds up, constantly experiment with these new abilities. When the area covered by the World Tree is large enough, we should be able to move on to the next step. Advertisement. When they come within the scope of the World Tree, they should not be able to use their own phases and demon powers, because this world is not the world they are familiar with, but a new world that integrates the foundation of the Shinigami world. Uzumaki Mizuki analyzed. The way to defeat the demon god, except this. All that is left is to wait for enough points to exchange for a new treasure to enhance his own strength. Originally, World Tree didn't adapt to the rules of this world very quickly. It feels like a long time. But today, after killing this angel, after being absorbed by the space of the World Tree, he actually quickly adapted to the ability released by the angel just now. However, it is necessary to prevent backlash. Although the avatar is controlled by the World Tree itself, it can be destroyed at any time, from the most fundamental point of view. However, after all, he absorbed the unconscious Spirit King. Getting information about the demon god from the Yaris Tower, it seems that the distance from the real Spirit King is still a little bit, and he is rejected by the world. This world is not created by them, it is more like a hacker who occupies a higher authority, and at the same time occupies too much data, is rejected by the world, and can only use part of the power. Uzumaki Mizuki looked at the space, and finally did nothing. That angel made him a complete nourishment. Thinking about the next step, should we catch more people to come in? Or, take the magic book. This thing seems to be equivalent to the programming foundation of this world. Those demon gods all fused a lot of magic and finally became demon gods. It is equivalent to thoroughly mastering the source code. It's better to do this first without attracting the attention of the demon god. Uzumaki Mizuki decided to. Then, leave the space of World Tree directly and return to the hotel. Just happened to meet the 3 people who came back from the beach. When they saw Uzumaki Mizuki, Kamijo and Toma were all surprised and speechless. For a while, the 3 of them didn't know what to say. What happened to the other party's angel? What is the purpose of staying here? Who are you? But obviously, the other party will not easily speak out about these issues. Dangma. But at this time, Index appeared. She was also changed by magic, which looks like blue hair earrings. Kamijo Tuma has always been treated differently. 130,000 little yellow books. Uzumaki Mizuki glanced at Index. Thinking, if she is used as nourishment, can memory bring accelerated integration of World Tree? Or does it have to be fully mastered to be effective? 221. I am taking, not stealing. In the end, feeling unnecessary, Uzumaki Mizuki turned around and walked directly to his room. Here in the hotel, although there are still a few openings, they have little impact. Several people watched Uzumaki Mizuki leave. In the end nothing was said. Why didn't you ask just now, who is the caster? Kamijo Tuma was puzzled. Against Uzumaki Mizuki, he felt the pressure. But aren't Tsuchimikado and Kanzaki Kaori both very powerful? Why don't you speak? If you guessed right, the angel should be dead. Tsuchimikado only said this. I didn't say anything else. Because not long ago, what they said at a relatively long distance was heard by the other party. He made a gesture to the 2 of them, and both of them reacted without asking any more questions. The next day, Uzumaki Mizuki yawned. In this world, he still has a lot of things to do. To reorganize the world and formulate a new order, he can't just ignore everything. And we must prevent it from going astray at any time, and at the same time, we must guard against someone taking the opportunity to mess around. Put away the things in the room and put them in Wangjabao curry. After washing up, Uzumaki Mizuki left the room directly. Saw a few people outside under umbrellas. Uzumaki Mizuki walked over without any hesitation, and then pulled out an empty chair and sat down. The caster is your father, and, are you willing to work for me? It doesn't feel very good to be a boarder under another sect. I can give you a new room for development. Under the watchful eyes of several people, Uzumaki Mizuki spoke directly. He didn't return to Academy City right away, but also discovered that Aris Tower was sending these sisters away from Academy City and scattered them all over the world. Therefore, he also gave the other party this time. The threat of the Asia Reese Tower is naturally inferior to that of the demon god. And it's not aimed at himself, and by the way, these younger sisters can be properly dealt with. If he were to solve it, the younger sisters can only be gathered together, or scattered to the ninja world or the present world. Kind of hard. What? How could my father be a magician? Kamijo Tuma directly denied it. He didn't believe that his naive father would have such ability. Advertisement, but Tsuchimikado didn't immediately question it. Go back and see the picture of your father in your house, you will know. If you think about it, use this phone to contact me. You are too troublesome. I don't know how many layers of undercover agents you have. Your ability is not bad. If you are willing to make up your mind to follow me, you can also come to me. Uzumaki Mizuki did not explain much here. Seeing that Kamijo Tuma is the real administrator, he said a little bit. After that, an invitation was sent to Kanzaki Kaori. Managing a world is not easy. Taking over the world in the present world is far more troublesome than fighting life and death in the Soul Society. The time spent is several times. This world is wider, and there are many managements. Distinguishing is still a bit troublesome. In the future, more local people will still be used to govern. After all, he did not come to colonize. Are you provoking me? I am the female pope of the Amakusa-style cross-religion. Kanzaki Kaori was a little angry. She also has her own beliefs. Although boarding and Puritanism in England belongs to boarding, it is serving God. Follow a human? Do not make jokes. But as soon as she finished speaking, a purple light instantly passed through her shoulders. It directly hit the sea about 1,000 meters away from the beach. Then, a huge mushroom cloud rose directly. Almost like the scorching sun, the light emitted is very dazzling. The faces of the 4 people on the field were all very stiff. It's like sitting on a nuclear warhead. This is. Kamijo Tuma looked in shock behind Uzumaki Mizuki. A huge purple eye appeared at some point. At the same time, there is a circle of golden light around the eyes. However, the other 3 were all controlled by Uzumaki Mizuki to block the existence of Tensigen. So don't know it all. After a while, I will visit the Puritan Church in England. After speaking, Uzumaki Mizuki got up and left directly. Then, it disappeared directly in front of their eyes. A space spell? No, there is no singing, no magic circle, and no trace of the magic crossing. Advertisement. Little yellow book index began to analyze. Ask for flowers. The anger was exhausted last night. Now she is very calm. However, among the 103,000 magic books in my memory, none of them could explain the situation just now. Superpower. This level, has it reached LV6? Tsuchimikado didn't believe it. After all, LV6 is just a theoretical state. No one should be able to achieve it now. It's the eye, a white eye surrounded by golden light that exudes purple light. Kamijo Tuma said. Then a few people started arguing about what ability Uzumaki Mizuki used. Let's see if you can use magic. Oh, if it can't be used, can it really only be used to hunt those hidden angels? Uzumaki Mizuki here, get to work. Directly divided 5 shadow clone, and then arranged for them to get the magic book. In Wangjabao Curry, he is not afraid of what the tree can do. Wangjabao Curry gradually accumulated a large number of books. By the way, he also made a bunch of fake ones and put them inside, so he didn't care if they couldn't be seen. Chuan will only be suppressed by the power of the king's treasure house. Shadow Clone successfully started the work of taking away the magic book. However, it is not clear whether these books can be effective in the world tree space. Books written about power are also beneficial to the deviation sword. Try it first, see if it works, be above board. In the past, the sealed book was placed in it, and later in the Soul Society, a large number of books were obtained and put in it. After all, this thing is not produced by the system, and you can only figure it out by yourself when vortexing water. However, the main churches of the 3 major denominations are a little more troublesome. But it's just manipulating other people's 5 senses and preventing them from discovering it. The 3 main churches of the Roman Orthodox Church, the British Church, and the Russian Orthodox Church may have some unknown troubles. The selected target is the body of the world tree, which is placed in Wangjabao Curries. Uzumaki Mizuki decided to give it a try. However, the impact is not significant. In one day, almost all the magic books except the 3 main churches were searched. 222. Keep none. Take all. Throw 10,000 copies directly into a small world made by World Tree itself. Magic books, floating in the whole world. Then, the pages of the book began to flip quickly. Although many magic books have seals and other measures to prevent the books from being opened casually. But within the World Tree is the unique true God. Can't have any influence on it at all. It went on for about an hour or so. All the magic books were suddenly closed, and piled up together. Uzumaki Mizuki has been watching this movement. Then, I came to the real world, and then entered the space of the World Tree clone on my body. Efficient. Uzumaki Mizuki smiled. I feel that reading is still useful. Then, quickly throw the other magic books into the space of the World Tree itself. 740. In the world of Shinigami, there is also a clone, which is used to stabilize the world when the main body is not there. And the World Tree avatar that is now on his body is a new individual, but at the root, he is bound by the main body. At the same time, it has no independent consciousness of its own. But Uzumaki Mizuki does not guarantee whether this thing will produce consciousness, so pay more attention. It feels like the effect of Hogyoku, the consciousness of the sacred tree itself, was killed by Kagaya-ji. It is the instinct of the world tree to make this tree adapt to this world and then evolve. It activates the effect of Hogyoku and gives help. Uzumaki Mizuki looked at the world tree itself to absorb the knowledge of magic books. While observing the changes in the world tree, finally, focus on the Hogyoku in the center of the Yggdrasil trunk. When the world tree absorbs the knowledge of the magic book, Hogyoku is releasing power and helping the world tree. It took about 10 hours to absorb all these magic books. There are a lot of ordinary magic books. It seems that the most precious books are stored in the cathedrals of the 3 major bishops. Uzumaki Mizuki felt that every time he absorbed the same book, the changes in the world tree were not the same. Sometimes strong and sometimes weak. After all, there are only 103,000 volumes of little yellow books, but this time, he got close to 100,000 volumes. There must be many books in the 3 main cathedrals. Back in the present world, the sky was dark, and I checked the time, it was around 3 o'clock in the morning. Advertisement Uzumaki Mizuki did not hesitate and went directly to Russia to become a teacher. When approaching the library, I found the enchantment. Uzumaki Mizuki tried to use the space channel to pass through, but found that it was not possible. This enchantment is still a bit powerful. So, Uzumaki Mizuki directly used the space of the World Tree avatar to directly swallow the house where the books are stored. Throw out all the people inside. Then it was reproduced and went to the main churches of the Puritan Church and the Roman Orthodox Church. The library was discovered in less than 2 minutes. People of several sects, all got tofu. Good guy. This is their precious property. Lost like this, how can I explain to God? The perception of this world has become stronger. Is this the change brought about by the World Tree after absorbing these rules? Uzumaki Mizuki is watching his own changes. Those barriers cannot stop the power of the World Tree clone. Because of the World Tree avatar, he has almost mastered nearly 70% of the world's magic formulas at this time. The most essential ones are naturally owned by the 3 major sects, but those basic spells are also very important. After absorbing all the magic books, you should be able to reach the level of a Reese Tower. Perhaps stronger than a Reese Tower. After all, Reese Tower has not yet reached the level of the demon god, and there is still a gap between the demon god and the demon god. But for the divine tree, through the blessing of Hogyoku and its own strengthening, it should be able to make itself reach the level of a demon god. However, apart from magic, there are other ways, such as Chinese Taoist books, and Egyptian pyramids, etc. But these are demon gods who have become gods for a long time. I don't know if the information left is enough. After collecting these, we will start planning for the next step. At that time, there should be no way to deal with me, but if we want to kill the demon god, we still need to test it. Uzumaki Mizuki decided to. This time, be steady, there is no shortage. Should I tell Laura Stewart about this? Kanzaki Kaori asked here. I thought about it all day yesterday, but I didn't even figure out what kind of ability the other party has. There seems to be magic that uses eyes, but Index can't find a magic that matches it. As for superpowers, it is likely to be a rare ability, and it has reached LV6. However, do you feel that the other party was not cultivated by the Asia Reese Tower, but by other forces, or even by the country? Tsuchimikado is most puzzled by this point, completely ignorant of abilities. Advertisement: if it was the LV6 Reese Tower, it would be impossible for the opponent to be exposed so quickly. The Reese Tower will establish a place like Academy City, just to fight against the magic class. These sects never thought that the target of the Asia Reese Tower would be the demon god. Can I go back? Kamijo Tumayond. These things feel out of place with me. He's just an ordinary high school student. Let the Puritans be careful with this person. Kanzaki Kaori nodded, and then affirmed. This person, she felt too dangerous. His current strength is the first in Qing dynasty. But when facing other people, there is far less powerlessness than when facing this person. Dididi. But at this moment, Kanzaki Kaori's cell phone rang. Seeing that it was Laura's call, she quickly connected it. Kamijo Tuma looked to Index, who was having fun on the beach in the distance, feeling somewhat strange. Could it be that, also, the same thing happened to the Roman Orthodox Church and the Russian Orthodox Church? The magic book disappeared together with the library. When such a thing happened, the 3 major sects were on fire at this time. The strength possessed by the 3 major sects is enough to shake a big country. All members began to look for who did it. If this matter is not handled properly, it will lead to a world war. For such a weird thing, he didn't know why, but he immediately thought of this person. Tsuchimikado also saw Laura's name, and he couldn't help but wonder, when did the big sister show such a face on her head? Then, his face darkened. All the Puritan magic books are gone, together with the library. Does Index want to go back? What's wrong? Lola asked me to bring Index Ribbon back 5.6 immediately. Kanzaki Kaori said very seriously, this is no joke. He thought of Uzumaki Mizuki. Tsuchimikado's expression tightened. 223. It can be done, but it is not necessary. It is possible that she will be locked up forever, and people from other sects will also attack her? Kamijo Tuma said in shock. He couldn't accept this matter. Now the magic books of the three major sects have been snatched away. There are only one stub of many books. If they are gone, they will be gone. Besides retrieving the books, the only way is Index, the mobile library. People who have 103,000 magic books from all over the world record a large number of magic books. Although I can't say 100%, but almost 90% of it can be recovered. In the past, other sects didn't care about it, but now, they will definitely take action against Index. The Puritans don't want Index to fall into the hands of other sects, so naturally they have to take it back and protect it. Tsuchimikado directly told the truth. That's exactly what this thing is. No one thought that the library would be completely moved away without knowing it. After all, the three major cathedrals all have the highest level of defensive barriers in the world. Isn't it okay to stay at Academy City 25? Isn't there Kanzaki protecting her? Kamijo Tuma hesitated. This is the order of the Archbishop, and I cannot disobey it. Kanzaki Kaori lowered his head and said weakly. At the same time, she also knew that staying in the main church was the best way to protect Index. She also knew that both the sect and the royal family did not want others to have mobile libraries. So erase memory periodically. It made her feel bad about these people. Let's go back. I don't want to cause trouble for everyone. Index said seriously. She also knows her responsibility. It is to protect the safety of 103,000 magic books. This is the first task. Index. Kamijo Tuma was a little worried. It's okay. See you later, Index responded with a bright smile. Then, some small sects in the world, including some museums, were passed by Uzumaki Mizuki, and a lot of things were taken away by the way. The inventory in this world is amazing. Uzumaki Mizuki was a little surprised. A lot of props were found, and many of them had the level of treasures. But this world is more called a spiritual outfit. But the effect is so-so, just like that, similar to some ordinary Zanpakuto. Advertisement however, this can also be regarded as a kind of enhancement to the deviation sword. Wangjabao Curry's items can all increase the power of the deviation sword. But these things are basically put in the space of the world tree by Uzumaki Mizuki, allowing it to absorb evolution. However, after doing so many things that were easy to do, it caused a lot of commotion. All the major sects are crazy. Some countries are also preparing for battle, as if a world war is about to start at any time. Index went directly to Kanzaki Kaori and returned to the main church in England where she consulted. And Kamijo Tuma returned to Academy City with Tsuchimikado. Stolen spellbook? It feels like those people did it. Is that the person? Yari's Tower looked at the information from all over the place, with some surprise on his face. After all, this matter touched the sect's bottom line. In addition to insulting God, it is the matter of robbing their wealth that makes them angry the most. And the magic book is the most important wealth. This naturally angered them. Members of sects all over the world are looking for those magic books, which has aroused the dissatisfaction of the great powers. But Yari's Towers, targeting directly for Uzumaki Mizuki. It feels like he is the most likely. Not to mention whether other people have this ability, the main thing is that without this necessity, most magicians cannot master too much magic. Reaching the Congress is too concealed, there is absolutely no need to dig up the roots. People who can do this kind of thing, he feels that only those who have no understanding of magic can use it last time. What is their origin? Too weird. Iris Tower's eyes twinkled. He suspected that these people were made by demon gods. However, there is indeed no magic fluctuation on the opponent. He felt that he was close to the truth. A strange person, a person with suspected superpowers, knows space-like spells, and has strange abilities. Laura looked at the information, and looked at Kanzaki Kaori with some doubts. It's all true, his strength should have reached the level of a saint. Tsuchimikado suspects him, and it is very likely that he is the mastermind behind the theft of the magic book. Kanzaki Kaori said directly. These things were passed on by Tsuchimikado with her help. Take your manpower and go to Academy City to meet this guy and confirm if he did it. Advertisement, Academy City, I will go to communicate and leave other matters to you. Laura said directly here, but her eyes were a little excited. Kanzaki Kaori did not observe. Yes, although Kanzaki Kaori feels that he is not the opponent of Uzumaki Mizuki. However, this is for the sake of God and for the continuation of the church. This matter is unshakable. After Kanzaki Kaori left, Laura thought about it and decided to notify both the Roman Orthodox Church and the Russian Orthodox Church. She wanted to make Academy City more chaotic. This event is a good opportunity. After hearing the news, the Roman Orthodox Church and the Russian Orthodox Church naturally chose to send people out. Almost at the same time as Kanzaki Kaori, he arrived at Academy City in the sky. However, Kanzaki Kaori has an official pass, while the other two denominations did not. 377. After picking it up, Uzumaki Mizuki went straight back to Academy City. Restoration of daily life. He disappeared, and it was only a week. If Uzumaki Mizuki uses real power, it can be done completely, making everyone in the world forget the existence of these magic books. But, there is no need. Iris Tower was slightly offended. No, the opponent's methods shouldn't be so bad. However, no such person was found. The three major sects naturally used the magic of predicting the murderer. Besides, the three parties came here at the same time. Was it predicted by magic? After the magic book is refined by the world tree, it will naturally not be detected by these magics. It was as if such a magic book had never existed in this world. All or the result. The instant he returned, Yari's tower noticed. He was a little dissatisfied with the appearance of these magicians. The same is true for predicting the location of the magic book. When Uzumaki Mizuki made a move, he used strength to completely isolate himself. On the second day after Uzumaki Mizuki came back, Yari's tower discovered that a large number of magicians appeared in Academy City. People of the three sects are very concerned about this event, knowing that it is definitely not a simple role. It is impossible to predict the slightest bit of information. Have you been found? 224. The Roman Orthodox Church comes to Masaka Makoto's heart. You are finally back. I looked for you several times, but the school said you were on leave. Masaka Makoto looked at Uzumaki Mizuki with some aggrieved eyes. After thinking about it, she decided to come to Uzumaki Mizuki to confess her love. But found that no one could be found at all, also forgot to leave a phone number. So I can only come to the school to squat, but I didn't see it after 2 days of squatting, so I asked other students, only to find out that Uzumaki Mizuki had asked for leave. I'm sorry. Uzumaki Mizuki apologized. The two were walking blindly on the street. Thank you, sisters, it should be you who helped. Send them away and give them a chance to live. The doctor said that they will find a way to help them live longer. From Masaka Makoto, thanks to Uzumaki Mizuki. She thought that Uzumaki Mizuki was busy with these things, so she was not unhappy. To be honest, I didn't do it. Uzumaki Mizuki did not acknowledge the incident. After all, there is no need for this. But Masaka Makoto thinks that Uzumaki Mizuki gave way, and he doesn't want this matter to put too much pressure on himself. Let yourself choose to be with him because of this kindness. That's why I said so. Me, Masaka Makoto wants to confess. Such a person, she felt she could rely on. Sister. I just finished my duty, let's go back together. But at this time, Shirai Haitsi appeared, showing a very bright smile. Then he grabbed Masaka Makoto's hand and dragged her away. Masaka Makoto blushed anxiously, but she wanted to confess in front of other people, but she couldn't say it. It was finally towed away. Before leaving, Shirai Kuroko gave Uzumaki Mizuki a fierce look, full of killing intent. Uzumaki Mizuki feels speechless just now, his heart stopped beating a little bit. He didn't pay attention to the people around him for a while. Then head straight for the road home. Then very deliberately, walked into a remote and dark alley. Did you spot us, deliberately choose this place as the place of your death? It's really nice to treat you with the dirty things you have done. A person dressed in green, even with green hair, emerged from the ground. Advertisement at the same time, there were more than a dozen people wearing robes and armor, walking out from the corner. Blocked Uzumaki Mizuki front and back, Roman Orthodox people. They followed Uzumaki Mizuki after school, but right now, I'm not ready to anger Academy City, so I'm going to find a hidden corner and deal with the opponent. Unexpectedly, the target was very cooperative and came to such a remote corner on his own initiative. How did the Roman Orthodox Church know the target and come here at the same time as us? Also, don't we go out? If the target is taken away by the opponent, it is very likely that all the magic books will fall into the hands of the Roman Orthodox Church. Stale Magnus asked Kenzaki Kaori. The main person in charge this time is Kenzaki Kaori. And also dealt with the target, so, what to do is up to her to decide. The target is very strong, and it is impossible for a Roman Orthodox person to catch him so quickly. It's even possible to be defeated by the opponent. Let's do the layout first, and I will intervene depending on the situation. Kenzaki Kaori was not reckless. She was shocked by Uzumaki Mizuki last time, but she hasn't figured out how to deal with him yet. Moreover, how the people of the Roman Orthodox Church knew about this matter, she was a little puzzled. If it wasn't for Tsuchimikado's judgment, she would hardly have imagined that it would be this person who took away the magic books of the three major sects. Okay. Stale Magnus nodded. Then start. The magic formula that will be made into a card will start to be arranged around. Increase the power of your own magic. Uzumaki Mizuki ignored him, but looked up. Letting so many magicians in, it seems that the chairman of Academy City didn't mean to test himself. But this kind of miscellaneous fish, he does not need to do it himself. Clatter. Uzumaki Mizuki snapped his fingers, then a figure appeared directly in front of him. Urahara Kazuki. Urahara Kazuki, who appeared here, was stunned. He was wearing a white coat at this time, and there was a chair under his buttocks. Looking at the gestures, it seems to be typing on the keyboard. King. Urahara Kazuki found Uzumaki Mizuki and quickly got up and bowed to say hello. Uzumaki Mizuki teleported him over, using the Flying Thunder God, who activated the transfer seal on Urahara Kazuki. After starting, it will automatically appear beside him. He was the only one chosen because he also felt that he was the weakest of the three. And he is the closest. Advertisement Aizen and Orochimaru both ran far out. The closest one within the sensing range will be the first to be summoned. I'll leave these miscellaneous fish to you to deal with, kill them, and come to me later. Uzumaki Mizuki said directly, if there is labor, why not use it? Moreover, the chairman of Academy City just wants to see him make a move, right? Then, he won't show it. Yes, Urahara Kazuki naturally wouldn't ask why. This kind of miscellaneous work, when I took refuge in Uzumaki Mizuki, I was mentally prepared. He didn't know the strength of these people, so he didn't have a hidden consciousness, and a slender Zanpakuto appeared in his hand and was held in his hand. It seems that I have been underestimated. The Roman Orthodox Church is the strongest sect in the world. My strength ranks among the top 4 in the Roman Orthodox Church. Not everyone can deal with it. Land on the left sneered, but immediately, the pupils shrank violently. Because Uzumaki Mizuki disappeared directly in front of him without a trace. At the same time, Britain, who was observing from the rear, asked everyone for advice, and was also very surprised. Hasn't the Roman Orthodox Church already set up an enchantment? Styles was surprised. He already felt it. The reason why the Roman Orthodox Church didn't do anything right away was because they wanted to set up a barrier. It was the same then. Kanzaki Kaori's eyes were a little dazed. She recalled that when Liao Wang's was at the seaside, when the other party was taken away together with the angel, she couldn't even notice the scene. Only through Kamijo Tuma's retelling did he know the situation. But it's far from exaggerated, almost instantly, without any chanting, and without using any spiritual equipment. Next time, the end of the interfering space movement. Land of the Left said calmly. He still felt that the odds of victory were within his grasp. I looked at Urahara Kazuki, but I couldn't feel the threat from the other party. However, it should not be a simple role, it's like a summoned servant. Kill him. I'll go after the target first. The Land of the Left felt that relying on its own men would be enough to deal with the opponent. Once the order is given, he is ready to strike. Boom. White Mine Offender. With Urahara Kazuki's fingertips, a white ray of light pierced directly through the shoulder of the Land to the left. The Land on the left hardly had time to react. 225. Urahara Kazuki's strength. What kind of monster is that? The horror on Stale Magnus's face could not be dispelled at all. Just 10 minutes. The group of people from the Roman Orthodox Church all fell under the hands of the servants who were summoned by the target. They all fell down almost instantly. Only the Land on the left resisted for a while. The opponent was injured at first, but the other party suddenly changed his appearance and called Bankai. Then, the clothes directly changed into black and white staggered close-fitting robes, and at the same time, a bone mask appeared on his face with patterns, which made him feel scared. Then, it became the place on the left that was beaten all the time. The other party seems to deliberately let go of the left side, just like a cat playing with a mouse. If you have played enough, the group will kill the other party. Shinigami. Kanzaki Kaori didn't know why he thought of this word at the first time. He's looking at us. Are you going to run away? Stale Magnus said hastily. His tone trembled a little. The big troops did not follow, but were far behind. They just came to track and didn't want to do it right away. There is no escape. If there is a fight, you leave and be responsible for delivering the information. Kanzaki Kaori is ready to sacrifice. The palm is already resting on the long knife. But when she looked at the other party again, she found that the other party had disappeared. This made her pupils shrink. Pure speed. Kanzaki Kaori still found an afterimage. However, it was the discovery of this afterimage of 320 that made her feel great pressure. Obviously he is the saint who is good at speed. However, she felt that she was completely incomparable to that person just now. Left. Let's go. Stale Magnus did not expect that this mission would be so dangerous. Sure enough, the person who can snatch the magic books of the 3 major sects cannot be a simple character. Okay. Kanzaki Kaori glanced at it, and the corpse had already been annihilated by the other party. If it weren't for the surrounding walls, there were some cracks and holes, it wouldn't be felt at all. There was a battle here just now. That person just now was too strong, except for the lead one, which is somewhat similar to Kyoraku Shunsui's Zanpakuto ability type. Everything else is pretty simple. This kind of opponent, the king should be able to deal with it in one go, right? Advertisement Urahara Kazuki was a little confused. But I dare not, CFDB, ask. Just disarmed himself from Bankai. This is his own creation. Shinigami, Quincy, and the power of Hollow have been fused into this Zanpakuto. This thing, in that world, he dare not take out shit. But at that time, facing Yuhabak, this thing didn't have much effect. So use less. His own Zanpakuto was confiscated by the king, and now this is the Zanpakuto he created himself. It's just liberating power, but it's more used to calling Bankai. The fusion of the 3 forces is infinitely approaching Ichigo's destruction. Facing the strange magic of the Land on the left, directly destroying it, the other party has no way at all. After collecting a wave of information about the opponent's abilities, they killed the left Land. Is the world I live in just a parallel world? Urahara Kazuki these days, in addition to absorbing the information given by Yari's tower. More, or study the world itself, he began to suspect something. However, the more this happened, the more he felt that his own strength was not enough, and Uzumaki and Mizuki were mysterious. I want to become stronger, so that I can learn more from Wang. That kind of power, I feel the danger. Yari's towered over here, directly surprised. He also ignored the Land on the left, the stuff that kills in seconds. Uzumaki Mizuki didn't make a shot, he was indeed a little unhappy. But one thing is confirmed. The status of this person is above those three people. Moreover, he is very interested in the power that Urahara Kazuki is using now. There are still very few forces that can threaten him. This time I really felt the threat of death. His strength is almost the best under the demon god. It is not so easy to want to be killed, but I feel it in this person. Interesting group of people. If the opponent's target is also a demon god, maybe they can take advantage of it. Yari's tower decided to pay more attention to these people. King Urahara Kazuki was very honest, kneeling in front of Uzumaki Mizuki. The plan is about to change. My side should be able to withstand the pressure of the demon god. Try it out first, and after about half a month, directly announce our existence, and then deal with the troubles that will arise next. Notify the other two, let them come on time, and prepare yourself. Uzumaki Mizuki said. Advertisement he was going to directly announce the arrival of the Uric Empire. However, there are only these few people, not planning to bring more people over. Prepare to choose a place directly, and then gather people from this world to establish a branch country base. Yes. Urahara Kazuki responded hastily. At the same time, my heart trembled. Good guy. Can say so. Definitely an improvement in strength. It is obvious that the strength is so top-notch, but it can still do this step. It really made him unable to understand, too fast. Sure enough, the king was a man with a big secret. Reaching this level at the age of less than 20, he is worthy of being able to succeed the Spirit King to rule the world. My matter has almost been resolved. In the next time, just create a space on the roof of this building and wait. Aizen and Orochimaru, I will contact you. Urahara Kazuki continued. He doesn't have that smooth way of moving space. There are similar ones, but it takes a lot of time to run around, so it's better to just wait here. Up to you. Uzumaki Mizuki waved his hand. He doesn't care about such things. Urahara Kazuki bowed hastily, then got up and left the room. Get ready to go upstairs and find a place for yourself first. The demise of the Roman Orthodox Church. It caused a lot of pressure to those who asked for advice in the UK. But in the evening, someone from the Russian adult education came to see him off again. Without waiting for Uzumaki Mizuki to make a move, Urahara Kazuki cleared away without leaving a single one. The next day, people from the Roman Orthodox Church and the Russian Orthodox Church found that their families had lost contact. On Kanzaki Kaori's side, he found Tsuchimikado and discussed what to do next. The other party is not alone, but organized. It seems that Uzumaki Mizuki's status is very high, and he can summon a servant who is stronger than you. Is it a hidden religious sect? On Tsuchimikado's side, he scratched his hair and felt a headache. How could such a complex strength suddenly appear? It's a headache. The opponent is still so strong, and at the same time, he doesn't have any intention of living in peace. The only thing that can be thought of at this time is such a result, which is a hidden religion, and it is the kind that has been passed down for a long time. All these sects have sprung up in the past 2,000 years. But the history of this world is more than 2,000 years. There are hidden strong people, it's a normal thing. 226. The decision of the three major sects to kill Academy City. People from both the Roman Orthodox Church and the Russian Orthodox Church discovered something was wrong. The staff responsible for the response outside Academy City also couldn't contact those who were sent to carry out the task. Therefore, they suspected that Academy City did it. After all, from their point of view, except for Academy City, which is a powerful force comparable to the three major sects, it is impossible for others to let their people go without even sending out any news. It can only be done by the Tower of Reese, who is in charge of the city. Therefore, this move undoubtedly stimulated the Roman Orthodox Church and the Russian Christianity. Let's go to war. What are you staring at this time? The target is the people of Academy City. Maybe they were instructed by Reese Tower, so let's destroy this heresy city directly. Front Wind said directly. The tone was dissatisfied. I feel that the Pope, an old man, is really not good enough. Yes. What are you thinking? Watch this heresy, expanded to such a large extent. Now that they are all here to provoke them, why don't you just kick them off? Waiting to be taken by them, right? It seems that the British asked for advice, and they can still be contacted, and there is no loss. Jowo on the right was watching the show and then said, among the three major sects, there are mutual spies, unless the news is particularly strict, otherwise, they cannot be concealed. Water in the back, what do you mean? The Pope asked him. Among the gods' right seats, the one he trusts the most is the water of the rear. Although he was born as a British knight, he is definitely a believer in God. What does it mean to be Christian in Russia and Puritan in England? The water behind asked. He's also a hunk. He worked as a mercenary, was born as a British knight, and finally joined the Roman Orthodox Church, and became a member of the right seed of God. Born as a saint, his strength is far above that of Kanzaki Kaori. Russian adult religions want their magic books back. However, they are not sure whether the target is a stealth ship or not. After all, this news was reported by the British consultant, and this time, their people did not suffer any losses. The Pope said with a gloomy face, although I know that this woman, Laura, will definitely not tell me anything good. Originally, he just thought that he wanted to find the three major sects to share the pressure of Academy City. Unexpectedly, it fell into the pit, lost a right seed of God. At the same time, dozens of elites were also lost. He felt that he was cheated, but this hatred, he must avenge it. Advertisement: the Roman Orthodox Church does not exist to be bullied by others. Contact the Puritan Archbishop, see their opinions, and then make a decision. Why? Said the water behind. If you want to do it, you must solve Academy City together. Therefore, it is naturally best for the three parties to act together. And this time I was tricked by the British for advice, so it would be a bit too stupid to rush forward foolishly. The Pope felt that Baixiong did not believe in the water in the rear. Then, he directly took out the mobile phone from the robe very skillfully and started to contact Laura. You have to give me an explanation for the matter of Academy City. The Pope is not a fool. Come up and ask the other party directly. Raise your own status and put pressure on the other party. My people, I just saw that your people dealt with that guy. The people of the Roman Orthodox Church died under the hands of the target. The Russian Orthodox Church didn't see it, but it probably should have happened too. On Laura's side, she was drinking afternoon tea calmly at this moment. Unhurriedly answered the Pope's question. She was amazed after that. The members of God's right seat are all very strong, and they will definitely not be inferior to Kenzaki Kaori. However, when she knew that these people did not lose to the target, but to the target's subordinates, she felt a little pressure. Are these people under Reese Tower? Tsuchimikado's speculation also informed her. Doubts are people from hidden sects. Why did the British people who asked for advice not lose anything this time? You need to give me an explanation. The Pope continued to put pressure on it. Our people are those who find out that the other party is a target. The person who can quietly steal the magic books of our three major sects. You don't think it's a simple character. It's too small to underestimate the other party just to send a God's right seat over there. And the person who solves you is not the target, but the target's subordinates. I will send you a copy of the video and you will know. Laura will naturally not take any responsibility. After finishing speaking, he continued to drink his own black tea, and at the same time he was still in the mood to have a bite of dessert. At the same time, the other hand quickly slid on the tablet. Soon, the Pope received the video file. It's not very long, just 10 minutes. What is this? The Pope was shocked. The guy with the skull mask suddenly appeared on his face, which made him feel the pressure. The other three gods on the right side also saw how the land on the left died, which shocked them greatly. Ask for flowers, however, now, he can't confirm whether the other party has teamed up with Academy City to harm them. Advertisement, however, it is true that the magic book was stolen in England. This time the target killed the god's right seat, which can also confirm the opponent's strength. The target of suspicion, the odds were really high. These people are not something we can solve. I contacted Yaris Tower, and he said that these people were not from Academy City, but appeared recently. By the way, he also said that with personal strength, he almost approached him, but he didn't show up this time, and the target is likely to be their superior. Laura continued. Her eyes were filled with excitement. This news was exchanged not long ago. 0 as for Yaris Tower, although there is a meaning of joining forces with Uzumaki Mizuki and others. However, it does not prevent him from selling the news to Laura. The two sides fight best. What do you mean now? The Pope's face became serious. Good guy. In Academy City, there really are a few monsters. These people must be destroyed. Join hands and wipe out these unstable people. Laura said calmly. The 3 seats of God's right seat will all be dispatched. The Pope said directly here. The Russian adult religion is the least powerful among the 3 major sects. But their purpose is either to destroy Academy City or not. The Russian government supports Academy City, but the Russian adult education side still has other ideas. They are also influenced by the government, far inferior to their 2 sects. But if you get involved, it's impossible not to be implicated. The most powerful is naturally the Roman Orthodox Church. On the Pope's side, besides wanting to get back the demon. But this time, they are facing Academy City of the science camp. As for Laura, she hopes that Academy City will be as chaotic as possible. Moreover, it is very important to get the magic book back, and there is absolutely no way to discuss this matter. At this time, there is no need to hide. The last contact was the Russian adult education. Okay, Britain will consult the Church of Necessary Evil, and all members will be mobilized. The other party also agreed. By the way, what I want to deal with is Academy City. Laura also said directly here. The purpose of the 2 is not the same. The 3 major sects decided in this way. 3 days later, they will attack Academy City Chuan together. 227. LV5 delivered to your door. New nutrients. I didn't expect this to happen. The actions of the 3 major sects cannot be hidden from the Reese Tower. As long as he uses technology, he is a god. He also monitored the mobile phones of Uzumaki Mizuki and others. But nothing can be seen. There are 2 more signals are not found now. Yaris Tower did not expect that the 3 major sects were so united this time. And the drunkard's intention is not to drink, but also wants to take away his Academy City. However, when he established this place, he knew that sooner or later, he would be targeted by the sect. Do you want to make room for them? However, is the loss worth it? A lot of calculations started on the Reese Tower side. The future results, what to do, is the best. Uzumaki Mizuki is very indifferent. The demon god has never been found. He didn't pay attention to the others. 443. When the time for the teleportation gate came, I sent a clone to pass the message and let them wait. The present world is now caught in a frenzy of cultivation. The population is slowly increasing. On the ninja world side, they began to develop the starry sky, wanting to explore more unknowns. They also know that this universe is huge, and there are Otsutsuki clan as enemies. But now, with Uzumaki Mizuki backing them, their ambitions are much bigger. In the world of Shinigami, some clans don't gain much. Therefore, we can only turn our sights to outer space. Shinigami and Ninja World have cultural exchanges, and both sides have gained a lot. Now they are also increasing their supplies. However, government affairs are still very busy, and Uzumaki Mizuki is glad that he delegated power early and did not participate in these matters. Otherwise, there is no time for him to take a walk outside. Just approving documents, it is estimated that they will not be able to finish approving. But now in this world, Uzumaki Mizuki still values the science camp more. He wasn't too interested in the magic camp. The population of this world is larger than that of the current world and the ninja world combined. But the demon god has been around for so many years, and he can count it with 2 hands. It's better to continue to practice chakra and full manifestation. The ability of the Quincy Master is also very good. Being able to reach the strength of an ordinary captain is enough to solve most of the troubles. The location of Jango, just choose this place, it just happens to be done in one pot. Uzumaki Mizuki is quite satisfied with the situation here in Academy City. Advertisement, although it is the jungle of the jungle. But those who are willing to come here naturally have the heart to fight. Give them the cultivation methods of chakra and full manifestation, maybe there will be great gains. The area covered by the world tree should not be very large at the beginning, this place is just right. The more I look, the more satisfied I am. Uzumaki Mizuki is going to plant here immediately after the world tree clone meets the conditions. King. But when shopping, Aizen suddenly appeared. I came a few days earlier than the scheduled time. No one else could see his figure, and his 5 senses were manipulated by him to deny his existence. There are still a few days, if you have nothing to do, go to Urahara Kazuki. Uzumaki Mizuki said. Aizen bowed slightly and nodded, then disappeared directly. Although Aizen tricked passers-by by manipulating the 5 senses, Yari's tower still found Aizen. It seems that you know that the 3 major sects are going to trouble them. No surprise here on the Reese Tower side, although exchanged information told them to leave. However, when the other party came back, he would not forcefully chase him away. The plan for the artificial heaven has basically been completed, and the fuse of Fengjian Binghua has also appeared. He also has to start the last step, created, belongs to his angel. It was you who defeated Accelerator, now the #1 name is you. Uzumaki Mizuki, who was about to go back, was blocked by someone. Kakin Tito, the second in LV5, wearing a purple suit, he looked very advanced. But when he faced Uzumaki Mizuki, he felt the pressure for some reason, and he felt that he was not as good as the opponent. This made him very unhappy. I didn't plan to do the experiment. You have the intention to kill. You came here by yourself. Don't blame me. Uzumaki Mizuki said calmly. Kakin Taitoku didn't understand what this meant. But he sensed the danger, and without hesitation spread out a pair of wings made entirely of Weiyuan matter, shining white and shining. Like an angel, he wants to distance himself and then make a decision. But Uzumaki Mizuki opened his hand and sucked, and the universal pull was activated. Advertisement pull him back directly. Naturally, Kakin Taitoku would not sit still. Although he didn't know what happened, the wings on his back immediately fired dense feathers, which were more powerful than ordinary bullets. But when I got close to Uzumaki Mizuki, everything seemed to hit an invisible wall, and the feathers broke directly. Kakin Tito also appeared in front of Uzumaki Mizuki, and was strangled by Uzumaki Mizuki's right hand. Without giving the other party a chance to speak, he directly threw this guy into the space of the world tree clone and let it absorb it. Uzumaki Mizuki ignored Kakin Taitoku's screams at all, but continued to slowly spread back home. Disappeared? This method feels very similar to a demon god? Yari's tower side, very stressed. Uzumaki Mizuki he still can't figure out the details. The other 3, he more or less felt, were definitely not his opponents. But this one, he couldn't see through. Losing ALV5, he didn't feel anything. Let these sects force out the strength of this person. If you don't know his details, you really can't cooperate with him. Yari's tower finally decided. To lose the interests of Academy City, we must also find out the strength of Uzumaki Mizuki. It really works. As for 5.6 and the ability of World Tree, I feel that there can be more thugs. Much more useful than impure world reincarnation. In this way, the power of the World Tree can exert its ability like the god of creation. The dead can be resurrected, and can even be manipulated directly. If Aizen and the others are disobedient, send them inside, so that they can completely control their life and death. In the World Tree space, after feeling it, I found that the World Tree has indeed made some progress. The value of this LV5 is at least better than 5,000 magic books. This made them somewhat delusional, thinking that they were being targeted by a demon god who was comparable to the existence of the Spirit King. However, if the results of the research process in Academy City are put into it, will it have the same effect? The clone of World Tree has already consumed Kakin Tito. Uzumaki Mizuki thought of a new way of pulling wool. The first time I thought of Aizen Orochimaru and Urahara Kazuki. But this person is going to die in the inner space of World Tree. Makes them very upset when Uzumaki Mizuki came home. Although the name World Tree seems very powerful, it seems that it needs to consume a lot of things to grow it. From the source, it is controlled by him. When the three of them were missed by Uzumaki Mizuki, they all felt a chill down their backs, but they couldn't find the reason. 228. Sects gather, clear up heretics. Is this the place? Cut. I can solve it by myself. Just use the heaven's punishment technique. Front Wind, standing on the tall building outside Academy City, looked at the situation inside and directly snorted coldly. Academy City covers an area about 1/3 the size of Tokyo, about 700 square kilometers. Relying on her ability to control the wind and air, she is enough to kill most people in Academy City. A spell called Heaven's Punishment. Don't be careless, the land on the left is here. Backside Water said calmly. This time, he is in charge. The Roman Orthodox Church brought about 1,000 people. More than half are members of the Knights. The goal is to destroy the biggest heresy in the science camp, Academy City. At the same time, the magic book belonging to the Roman Orthodox Church must be recovered. However, the people on Academy City's side are not simple. The other party has a lot of ammunition, and there is no problem at all in destroying a country. However, these people of the Roman Orthodox Church, using magic formulas, also have the same effect. This time everyone was filled with righteous indignation. After all, magic books were the lifeblood of these ordinary magicians. Many people want to study, but the books are gone. And recently they also discovered that all the books in some branch churches were gone, and they were replaced with fake ones. Not to mention making these 25 magicians angry. The English Puritans, haven't they come yet? Seeing what the water in the back said, the wind in the front snorted coldly and then continued to find fault. But changed the target and changed to the British Puritan side. The mature Russians have arrived and are attacking in another place. Didi. Backside Water's cell phone rang. Open it and look at it. The second batch of British Puritans has also arrived in another direction. At the same time, within Academy City, Kanzaki Kaori and others are also ready to attack at any time. It's here. Do it first, solve the target of stealing the magic book, and then deal with the citizens of Academy City. You guys, wait outside for information, prepare the magic circle, and wait for orders. After reading the information, Jishui from the back began to order directly. After all, the magic book will definitely be damaged in a fight, and these things are indeed very important. Therefore, he planned to get all the magic books first, and then attack Academy City. Yes. The leader of the knights and magicians in the rear responded immediately. Then go to arrange the manpower to act according to the order of the water behind. Hurry up, this column is too boring. The fire on the right spoke calmly. Advertisement wearing a little red suit, he doesn't look like a believer at all. However, his strength is the only person in the god's right seat who can compete with the water behind. Use Heaven's Punishment first, anyway, it won't damage the building and won't affect the magic book. Front Wind said. This will interfere with the manpower for teaching in the UK and teaching in Russia. The water behind frowned, obviously didn't want to agree to this. He is not interested in excessive killing. I just want to destroy the den of heretics, Academy City, not kill all the heretics. Cut. Anyway, they are all opponents, so why care about them? If you can't even resist this spell, it won't do anything. My spell alone is enough to solve the problems in Academy City, so why bother them? The wind in front sneered. Except for the Roman Orthodox Church, all other denominations are pagan. However, it is still somewhat different from Academy City, a heresy that completely denies the existence of God. At most, it is a difference of belief. It is to destroy this belief and is the enemy of all sects. God is God. It is an existence that cannot be erased and transcends everything. It's not something that can be denied by just taking some data casually. So people living in this city must die. I don't think it's a problem. If you can't resist the divine punishment, you don't have the qualifications. Naturally, the fire on the right doesn't care, although this technique will also affect two people. But, for them, resistance is easy. But for ordinary people, as long as there is any evil thought in front of the wind, they will faint directly. Specifically, to evacuate the air in the body of this person who has evil thoughts about the wind ahead, and only keep the minimum consumption of body organs and brain. It can be regarded as a large-scale dizzy skill. It is very practical to deal with ordinary people. Indirectly, or as long as it involves the wind ahead and has evil thoughts towards her, it can work. If God's punishment is ordinary, it's called Heaven's Scourge. Okay. Do it in 10 minutes. The water behind saw that both of them had said so. Nor did he argue. However, he sent a message to the British Consulting and Russian Chengzhou about this matter. If you can't even resist the divine punishment spell, don't go fishing in troubled waters. After they get back the magic book, come in and clean up Academy City. The two sects soon received the message. Others, find a place to hide and wait for my notice. Advertisement Kanzaki Kaori frowned, then quickly issued an order. The Russian adult education side also issued a similar message to arrange ordinary personnel and not to enter the scope of Academy City. After 15 minutes of preparation, let's get started. God's punishment spell. This time, with so many people gathered, I really had an idea about Academy City. There is no panic here at Reese Tower. He had nearly injected the virus into the last work, preventing Iowas from self-destruction. Except for Kamijo Tuma, the role of this city is actually not that great anymore. The artificial heaven has been built. No one can stop him. But it seems that they want to deal with those outsiders first. Then, I'll take care of those magicians outside. At the same time, let's try it out to see how powerful these people are. As for Reese Tower, I still care about Uzumaki Mizuki and others. He basically knew the strength of the 3630 sects and they couldn't threaten him. Demon God is the ultimate goal. Then, he also began to prepare. The target is the manpower arranged by the 3 major sects outside Academy City. Get ready to take them away, Wong. Do you want to start doing it tomorrow? Orochimaru asked curiously. He also arrived before the appointed time. Well, anyway, the loss is not too big in the end, and I am sure to save your lives. The 3 naturally had no opinion. Find a way to catch them alive. Uzumaki Mizuki nodded and said, they certainly won't miss this opportunity. This research body is really hard to find. As soon as the magicians arrived, he found out. But more, it is to pay attention to whether there are demon gods appearing. Hearing this, the 3 of them were overjoyed. It is not an easy thing to be given a hand by such a person. There are some miscellaneous fish outside. I'll leave it to you to deal with. Try not to affect ordinary people. This place will be our main city in the future. Uzumaki Mizuki said finally, it is still useful to absorb the world tree. He has been paying attention to the surrounding situation. Yes. Good guy. Study the Spirit King. He didn't even want to touch these miscellaneous fish. Wait until you catch the demon god, and then you will study why the lives of these guys are so fishy. Uzumaki Mizuki said. 229. Aizen Big Back Head, god damn. The wind in front successfully placed the spell and activated the magic. Open mouth. A long chain of tongue nails fell from the tongue. At the end is a silver cross. The divine punishment spell is automatic with this spiritual equipment. Let's go. Right Flame took his hand from his pocket. Then, it appeared again, and it had arrived at the entrance of Academy City. He teleported directly and appeared here. The water behind and the wind ahead also appeared. Who are you? The people of the police force have not had time to pull out the glue sticks on their bodies. The whole person fell directly to the ground. What? The people around who were about to enter the city fainted on the ground when they saw the police force. And they fell down one after another, which made many women scream directly. As soon as the voice finished shouting, they also fell down. The 3 of them walked directly towards the interior of Academy City as if there was no one else around. As long as they see the wind ahead, anyone who has any evil thoughts towards her will immediately faint on the ground. The sky also went from dusk to night directly. As the 3 appeared, more and more people fell. This phenomenon was immediately broadcast by the internal TV in Academy City. But this also allows this phenomenon to expand rapidly. Walking on the street, there are not many cars in sight. Only those unmanned vehicles are still on the road. HMPH, they're just a bunch of trash. On the front side of the wind, I feel particularly comfortable. People in this city probably never thought about such a situation when they denied the existence of God. This time, she wants to destroy this city directly. The Roman Orthodox made a move and we waited for them to arrive before we shot the target. Kanzaki Kaori said, there are only a few people around her. All are elite. And she also informed these people in advance how to prevent the divine punishment spell. However, it is hard to say whether it can withstand it. But this technique will not directly kill people, so the consequences are not very serious. Fortunately, Index left early, otherwise, she would definitely be implicated. People from the Roman Orthodox Church might directly attack Index and take her away. Advertisement Stale Magnus said with some gratitude. It's a good thing that the person you care about the most is not here. Start to arrange the spells and prepare to deal with the target. His strength is very strong, and people from the Roman Orthodox Church may not necessarily be their opponents. On Kanzaki Kaori's side, while talking, he was also arranging his special thread. In this battle, she came with the determination to die. Thinking of the man's appearance at that time, she felt a huge dynamic pressure. Urahara Kazuki, she was so impressed. It feels like the land on the left is completely crushed, and there is no room for fighting back. Okay. For styles, he didn't think too much about it. Prepare yourself a thick small magic circle, put it in your cuffs, and be ready to arrange it at any time. Is this the place? The 3 of God's right seat came to the neighborhood of Uzumaki Mizuki's house. The line of sight is locked on the high-end apartment building. The target lives here, 18th floor, number 180, Kanzaki Kaori said to the 3 of them. When looking at them, he was very alert, because, except for her and Steel, the rest of the people were also hit by the divine punishment spell. It is impossible to participate in this battle at all. There are no mature people in Russia yet. Maybe, it just fell on the way over. Russian adults have not come yet, let's do it directly, they have already fallen, and they have no qualifications at all. On the side of the front wind, there is already some impatient. The chain on the tip of the tongue was shaking slightly. Every time it shakes, dozens of people will fall in this city. Get ready to do it, get back the magic book first. On the side of the water in the back, he still said very calmly. He didn't think that the other party would be their opponent. Although he defeated the land on the left, he is the weakest one in the god's right seat. However, pay attention to how much it is normal for the boat to capsize in the gutter. Only on the right side of Joe, the brows were frowned, and it seemed that something was wrong. Whoosh whoosh, but suddenly, three figures appeared directly in midair. Aizen, Urahara Kazuki, and Orochimaru stood directly in midair, confronting several people on the roof opposite. All three are dressed differently. Orochimaru wears a white coat, while Urahara Kazuki wears a loose robe. Aizen is wearing a blue and white striped close-fitting suit. After appearing, take advantage of the situation and use the right hand to stroke the hair to the back, and straightly have a big back. Advertisement, it appeared early. That person is the one who killed the land on the left, and leave it to me to deal with it. One by one, how about seeing who gets rid of the opponent first? The wind in front said very arrogantly, but once the words are finished. The people on the field tightened their faces, because Obito, who was standing in midair just now, appeared in front of Feng Zifeng at some point. The thing that caused the air in my body to decrease, this is it. Aizen didn't know when, his hand had already held the chain on the tip of Feng Feng's tongue. Hold it directly in your hand and start to size it up. The wind in front was panicked to death at this time. Dude, she basically didn't react. The speed of the opponent is too fast. Is it the same teleportation as the fire on the right? Clang. But at this time, a huge sword slashed towards Aizen's shoulder directly horizontally. This attack, even if the body can withstand it, will still be hit by a huge impact, causing internal injuries. Splitting void. Aizen chanted softly. An invisible wall appeared directly beside him. Ascalon directly hit the wall of the splitting void with the giant sword of the water behind, without breaking it immediately. The people on the field saw this scene with different expressions. After finishing speaking, the tip of the tongue directly licked his lips and circled around. The front part of her tongue was chopped off by Aizen, and it fell into Aizen's hands together with the chain. On Urahara Kazuki's side, at some point, Zanpakuto appeared in his hand. His face was very excited. I have this in my collection. As for the magic camp, their faces were a little ugly. But mostly shocked. Whoever kills one, how about as a research body, let others study for a week. He feels that the strength of these people in front of him is very strong, which is good material. On Aizen's side, the voice fell. Unexpectedly, it was impossible to interrupt this transparent wall immediately. The addition of the same's physique, as well as the characteristics of the right seed of the gods, can double the strength, and can double the original strength. At the same time, he opened his mouth and said to Aizen. The king said, if you want to live, you don't want to kill it. The wind in front screamed. After all, there is no doubt about the strength of the water behind. Good money. Orochimaru spoke from this side. What, 230? Magic camp versus Uruk scientists. The wind in front jumped a few steps back and returned to the water behind. Looking into Aizen's eyes, full of fear, it wasn't that she didn't resist just now, but she couldn't move her body. It seemed to be suppressed by something, and he couldn't move at all. He looked at the other side helplessly, and took away his tongue and chain. This is her important spiritual outfit. What kind of monster is it? Steel felt that his own strength seemed not suitable to appear in this place at all. It would be better to obediently leave early. Protect yourself and evacuate the battlefield. Kanzaki Kaori's whole body tensed up at this moment. All the muscles of the long legs are like rocks, ready to attack at any time. She felt that she still underestimated the other party. The people on the right seat of God are definitely very strong. It can be said to be the strongest fighting force of the Roman Orthodox Church. However, the big-backed head just now put a lot of pressure on her. Looking at their eyes, as if looking at a corpse, there is no emotion at all. Fear, worry, including pride, and ridicule are none. Calm scares her. Aizen directly agreed. At the same time, the chain in his hand disappeared immediately and was put away by him. I don't want to be studied about the feeling of my body. Urahara Kazuki followed suit. Tone means to participate. Puff 110. Orochimaru's body, suddenly from the waist, was split in two. It seemed to be cut off by something. Aizen looked at the man not far away in surprise, who was also wearing a red suit. On the right shoulder, a bird-like claw appeared. Just now, it was that thing that exerted its strength and cut off Orochimaru's waist. Are you afraid? Right side Joe spoke from this side. The water in the back and the wind in the front were relieved to see a target that had been cut in half. It feels that the other party can still deal with it. They didn't try their best either. Boom. However, Orochimaru, who was cut in half, turned into white smoke and disappeared in midair. Oh, it's really dangerous. Fortunately, the one sent here is just a shadow clone. Orochimaru's figure appeared in the air again, a happy look on his face. But looking at the face of Joe on the right, he was very excited. Seeing this scene, Yufang Joe's complexion sank. He didn't see through the other party, he was just a stand-in. Advertisement that double is a little too real, Bankai. On Urahara Kazuki's side, he exploded without hesitation. The two breaths of black and white directly covered his body, spiraling and crossing directly to the sky. Knock out a hole directly above Academy City, which was originally covered by dark clouds, revealing the moon behind. The attack from Ufangzhuo just now brought him a huge threat, and he didn't want to be attacked. A direct burst is best. Do it, on the side of the water behind, he ordered without hesitation. Then, holding his long sword directly, he swung it upwards. A huge water ball condensed directly in midair, and within a short while, a water mass the size of a small lake came out. Hiss. On the side of the front wind, it has not lost its combat capability. There was an indistinct growl from his mouth. The dark clouds in the sky immediately began to churn, and thunder rumbled, as if it was going to rain at any time. The fire on the right side is the most decisive. He changed the target directly and chose Aizen. He also noticed that among the three, this person was the most close. The first shot, 100 shields, Aizen chanted. The attack from the holy right was directly rotten. Boom. At the same time, Aizen shoots a streak of off-white Sero directly from his fingertips. In an instant, he appeared in front of Zhuo on the right. The fire on the right uses teleportation, directly and easily dodged the attack. But his pupils dilated immediately, because Aizen appeared beside him, holding a long knife made of spiritual particles at some point in his hand, and slashed at him directly. The fire on the right can only use teleportation again, dodging the attack. But he used teleportation, and Aizen used the ringing ring to keep up again. The two of them kept flashing back and forth in midair like a bug. But there is no attack. CFDC, after Bankai ended, Urahara Kazuki directly slashed out a sword pressure against the mass of water in midair. Divide this water flow into two directly, but it didn't have much effect, and the water flow returned to its original state immediately. Seeing this, Urahara Kazuki held Zanpakuto without hesitation and rushed towards the water behind him. Whoosh whoosh, however, hundreds of water jets made of streams fell directly towards Urahara Kazuki as he rushed towards the water behind him. The strips are strengthened by the water behind them, and they are harder than steel. When stabbing the building in the ground, it opened a big hole just like being hit by a bullet. Densely packed. Boom. However, Urahara Kazuki's wrist calendar burst out. Advertisement: these water jets are easily blocked. For him now, it is no problem to take Sero head-on. This kind of physical attack is basically ineffective against him. Monster. The water behind can only curse. At the same time, holding up the spiritual long sword Ascalon in his hand, he was tough with Urahara Kazuki. He chose to explode the power of his Saint and Virgin, and entered his peak state. It was already night, and with the blessing of the moon, his strength would still increase. Clang. The weapon of the water of the rear, cut from it by Urahara Kazuki. What? Urahara Kazuki was a little surprised. With one blow, he didn't kill the opponent. He only cut off the opponent's weapon, and the opponent reacted and retreated at a critical moment. It actually cut off Ascalon. The water behind was also shocked. The one in his hand is also a high-level spiritual outfit belonging to the Holy Sword. It was cut off by the opponent's blow. Are you my opponent? On Orochimaru's side, it was the calmest. He looked at Kanzaki Kaori, who was standing in midair and confronting him while stepping on the silk thread. This battle, I will not keep my hand. Kanzaki Kaori drew out his long sword that was longer than his long legs. Watching Orochimaru very warily, the strength of those two people just now is enough to prove that these people are extraordinary. Who knows what kind of power this guy who used a substitute just now has? I haven't fought seriously for a long time. You should be a good test subject. Orochimaru continued to speak with a smile on his face. But once the words are finished, Orochimaru's head fell off. Kanzaki Kaori shot directly. The speed is too fast, breaking through the speed of sound directly. Only flash, Kanzaki Kaori said calmly, hiss. But suddenly, a large number of white snake bodies popped out from the neck that was cut off and fell downward. At the same time, the same is true for the neck. The body of the snake is directly connected. Orochimaru's head was taken back just like that, very fast. Is this the strength of a saint? Orochimaru spoke from this side. Obviously, he has a certain understanding of Kanzaki Kaori. During this time, he was the one who collected the most information. 231. Are you a demon god? Why are you here? Kamijo Tuma looked at Styles suspiciously. As soon as the battle started, Style immediately retreated. There is no option to participate. That's not where humans can interfere. But after coming down from upstairs, I ran into Ichikatsu and Kamijo Tuma. You are not an important combatant. It is very dangerous to approach here. Quick retreat. Get out of here. Style did not answer Kamijo Tuma's question. Instead, he asked Tsuchimikado beside him, is the battle up there fierce? Tsuchimikado asked. On his side, he deliberately came over to see if he could help. By the way, bring Kamijo Tuma with you. Mostly, there is the meaning of Reese Tower. He is a double agent. Kamijo Tuma has a good relationship with England, and he was born in Academy City. Bring it over this time, against Uzumaki Mizuki, or the Roman Orthodox Church. And The most important thing is that he relied on Kamijo Tuma to exorcise the curse spell. Those people are too strong, they are definitely at the level of saints. Humans can't interfere at all. On Styles' side, he laughed at himself. What happened? Aren't we here to deal with the enemy that caused everyone to faint? Kamijo Tuma was very curious. However, he was somewhat anxious. After all, many of his friends had fainted. Only he is safe and sound. Tsuchimikado didn't hide either, and opened his mouth to explain the current situation to Kamijo Tuma. Those people suspect that Uzumaki Mizuki stole the magic book, and now they want to destroy Academy City together? Kamijo Tuma was surprised. These people, one by one, don't pay attention to ordinary people at all. Be like a beast, decide life and death at any time. He looked up at the sky. It was found that there were water jets, logs, and buildings were chopped down from time to time, causing huge damage. Retreat, this battle is not something we can participate in. Steel said. He already felt the gap, there is nothing that can be done. The water magic of the water in the back feels like he can solve his witch-hunting king at any time. It's not on the same level at all. I want to stop this war. Advertisement, Academy City, with so many people, is not a place where they can be destroyed at will. But Kamijo Tuma lost his temper. Tsuchimikado smiled. How about we talk to the target? Only he can resolve this battle. If it is confirmed that the other party has not taken the magic book, the Roman Orthodox Church in the United Kingdom will ask for advice, and they should not continue to fight. After all, it doesn't look like they're going to win either. Tsuchimikado said. That guy's strength, isn't he very strong? Steel frowned. Kanzaki Kaori had told him not to think about doing anything to the blonde man. Seeing the strength of those three people just now, he didn't have any confidence. That person should be able to negotiate. If we want to fight, we'd better run away. Tsuchimikado was also very decisive. He wants to stop this fight. Although he is a spy, he still doesn't want the city to be destroyed. At the same time, I don't want too many casualties in the magic camp. Then let's go. This war must stop. Kamijo Tuma clenched his fist and said. Follow me. Tsuchimikado nodded. Then lead the way directly, but he has come to inquire about the surrounding situation several times. However, it's really strange that there are no people stunned by the divine punishment technique here. Stale followed behind Tsuchimikado, walked on the main road, and went directly into the high-end apartment. But he didn't even notice a fainted person, which made him very puzzled. This remark surprised Tsuchimikado. Apparently he just found out about it too. However, he didn't have time to think about it at this time. The three chose to climb the stairs to be safe, but 18 floors. Kamijo Tuma, who climbed up, was out of breath. They just came down the corridor. The door of Uzumaki Mizuki's room opened directly. This startled the three of them. However, Kamijo Tuma quickly plucked up the courage and walked straight forward. Tsuchimikado and Stale were very alert, but they also followed behind Kamijo Tuma. After entering, Kamijo Tuma was stunned, because he saw Uzumaki Mizuki leaning on the sofa, playing video games seriously. This made Kamijo Tuma unable to understand. Isn't life being played outside? What are you doing? Tsuchimikado and Stale couldn't turn their heads for a while after seeing this situation. Advertisement. Asking for flowers. Interested, do you want to change your power and work hard? Uzumaki Mizuki didn't even look at them, he spoke directly. Did you really steal the magic books of those sects? On Kamijo Tuma's side, he asked directly. The protagonist is full of breath. I took it. Uzumaki Mizuki also responded confidently. For a while, Kamijo Tuma thought that those sects were the bad guys. Yumun's face twitched, he didn't expect his guess to be true. This time, the three major sects all want to get back their magic books, no matter what the cost. Tsuchimikado said. He wanted to test Uzumaki Mizuki's bottom line. Why, do you think that these sects are on the same level as me? 0. Uzumaki Mizuki hit the pause button, then he turned sideways and asked very calmly. Hearing this, Yumun's heart trembled, he feels bad. What is the origin of this person? For a moment, he didn't know what to say next. This is even more true for Steel. The other party blatantly admitted, but as a member of the British Puritan Church, he did not dare to speak loudly at this time. But, if you don't return the magic book to them, they will destroy Academy City. Resurrection. This kind of thing can only be done by the legendary demon god. At the same time, the mood of Aris Tower who was listening could not help but fluctuate. Because, he feels that Uzumaki Mizuki is not a demon. His own daughter could only watch her die in front of him. Kamijo Tuma said angrily, but these words immediately changed Yumun's face. After all, even at his level, he couldn't do the resurrection. Stale also looked at Uzumaki Mizuki in shock. Why would innocent people be implicated in this kind of thing? Uzumaki Mizuki said directly. Dead, just resurrect, it's a very simple thing. He doubts. This is the lives of millions of people. But the other party said that he has the ability to resurrect people. This is a power that can only be used after mastering the power of phase in this world. So resurrection is a power that is only in the hands of the demon god. So, this person is a demon god? 232. Time reversal, simple skills. Can you resurrect the dead? Kamijo Tuma said in shock. Although he lost his memory, he still has common sense. Can resurrection be done by humans? Impossible, that's something only a real god can do. The Pope, including the saints, cannot resurrect the dead. This is not a realm that humans can reach. Stale couldn't bear it anymore. He felt that Uzumaki and Mizuki were ignoring Hiroto. Those guys outside who beat so hard, it is also impossible to resurrect people. It can be said that even the edge cannot survive. Even if this person is stronger than the outsiders, resurrection is absolutely impossible. This is against the rules. Snapped, but this sentence just finished. Steel's whole person was blown up directly, but being controlled by Uzumaki Mizuki within 1 meter of the original place, it didn't splatter blood everywhere. 757. Kamijo Tuma and Tsuchimikado both stared wide-eyed. Simply unimaginable. Stale actually died in this way in front of them. Clatter. Without waiting for them to speak, Uzumaki Mizuki snapped his fingers. The blood froth gathered directly, quickly forming Still's appearance. Styles is back. This. You. Kamijo Tuma's lips trembled. But at this time, there was really a lot of talk, and there was no way to say it. Because I don't know what to say. This is, Stale himself was also pale at this time. Obviously, he is very aware of what happened just now. I walked directly between life and death. The feeling of being shattered, he felt that the cells of his body were still experiencing it. There is a loose look. Will you work for me? Uzumaki Mizuki continued to ask. It was Tsuchimikado who asked. Just use time reversal. For him now, it's very simple. Why do you need to do such a thing? Tsuchimikado swallowed, his forehead was sweating. However, he opened his mouth and asked with difficulty. Advertisement: the two sides are not on the same level at all. Compared with the outer layers, the gap is even bigger. Why should I tell you? If you don't want to, just leave. Uzumaki Mizuki naturally did not need to answer. He was waiting to see if Yari's tower would intervene. At the same time, will it lead to demon gods? He didn't care about other things. On Misaka Makoto's side, he has already made arrangements in advance, and now he has passed out and is protected by Shadow Clone. Tsuchimikado tensed up all over. He is a double-sided agent, so it doesn't matter if he assumes the identity of a new agent. However, facing Uzumaki Mizuki, he was a bit afraid. Then, will Yin's family be safe? But on Kamijo Tuma's side, he opened his mouth very forcefully and asked directly. Well, no one will die in Academy City, Uzumaki Mizuki replied. He didn't care if he was dead or not outside Academy City. Also, he will also take away the 3 guys fighting outside as nourishment for the World Tree, and then resurrect them to work as tool men. Kamijo Tuma had nothing to say. Since no one will die, he doesn't dare to ask Uzumaki Mizuki for anything. It seems that the answer has been given. Clatter. On Uzumaki Mizuki's side, he snapped his fingers without any hesitation. A black hole appeared directly under the 3 people's feet, and the 3 people stepped into the air and fell directly. If Kamijo Tuma is not given a chance to touch the abnormal object, Fantasy Killer will not be triggered. So it was easy to send him out, and Fantasy Killer can erase all unreasonable things. There is a limit. If Uzumaki Mizuki is more serious, he can still be sent away forcibly. Out. Kamijo Tuma was surprised. It was raining all around, and they appeared on the streets closer to the battlefield. However, Tsuchimikado and Stale on the side, with pale faces, didn't know what to say at this moment. What they saw just now brought too much pressure on them. Boom. Suddenly there was thunder in the sky. It turned out that the magic of the front wind was ready to control the weather and induce thunder and lightning to attack. Boom. However, a strong breath rushed to the sky in an instant. Directly repelled the dark cloud again. Just now, he was rushed away by the explosive momentum of Urahara Kazuki Bankai, and this time, it was also Urahara Kazuki. He cut out a sword and pressed it casually, and avoided the dark clouds. Rainwater is collected. On Still's side, he finally spoke. However, his tone was still a little trembling. Advertisement. As he watched, the rainwater falling from the ground suddenly gathered together, forming long transparent lines, gathering upwards. Finally, in midair in the hands of the rear sailor, an ice crystal long sword was formed. At this time, the water behind is covered in injuries. There was still blood streaming from his forehead. You can obviously kill me. Why? The spiritual weapon of the rear water has been destroyed. He looked at the masked man in front of him, very puzzled. He was able to kill himself several times, and he could feel it himself, but the other party finally stopped and stopped. Didn't I just say, catch alive? Urahara Kazuki said calmly. This person is more difficult to deal with than he imagined. Among the captains, the strength should also be one of the best. Although it is not as good as the captain, it is not an ordinary role. If I don't have Bankai, I won't have enough hard power to fight against this person in front of me. This saint physique is very special. Without waiting for the water behind to speak angrily. Is the battle not over yet? Orochimaru's voice came. Urahara Kazuki and Backwater looked in the direction of the sound. Behind Orochimaru, in front of Kei's and Kenzaki Kaori, were bound by black ropes. This is where the truth-seeking ball comes into being. At the same time, Orochimaru's eyes also changed into Rinnegan's. The clothes on his body are very similar to the Seba clothes, but they are also black and white. This is Orochimaru, a costume formed by fusing the two powers of the Shinigami Quincy, similar to a robe. Plus there are a few truth-seeking balls floating behind him, it feels like a Buddha. Urahara Kazuki gave Orochimaru a slightly wary look. This guy looks so pervert. It feels like King 5.3 brings the three of them together, each of whom is out of tune with each other. But another type of person, Kanzaki, has been captured. Kamijo Tuma said anxiously. Looking at Stale and Tsuchimikado beside him, he thought about their help. Even though I know I won't die, but seeing this scene, he still became anxious. Anyone else just now? Orochimaru found out just now. It's just that I didn't care. He directly drove the truth-seeking ball behind him, preparing to catch these people. As spoils of war, when we wait to decide the outcome, we talk a lot. For the bodies of the other two people, he has long been coveted. However, Orochimaru felt his truth-seeking ball disappear. He turned his head and looked in Kamijo Tuma's direction in surprise. I saw Kamijo Tuma raised his right hand, facing the mid-air. It looks like he's the one who got rid of the truth-seeking ball. Point 233. The fire of the right with a bursting mentality. Escape. Tsuchimikado said without hesitation. At the same time, he pulled Kamijo Tuma, turned around and ran towards the surrounding alleyways. Stale also followed behind them. At the same time, while walking, a lot of card-sized pieces of paper fell from his sleeves. This is the magic formula he made in advance. I won't keep my hand from now on. The order I received is to catch the living. Urahara Kazuki said to the water behind. He didn't want to be the body being studied. Use the ring directly to appear next to the water behind. Ring spin is the fastest of the three movement methods of flying feet and shunpo. Is a space transfer. It is similar to the parallel teleportation of fire on the right, except that the distance limit is relatively large, but at the same distance, the speed is the same. Boom. The rear side of the water is also doing its best. The two hit it off again. Orochimaru, on the other hand, was very interested and chased after the three of them. With a wave. A spot of light fell and turned into dozens of white long snakes, boa constrictors about the thickness of thighs. Surrounded by the three of them, hunting the Witch King. Stale saw white surrounding him from the alleyway. Hastily used 25 of his own tricks, directly summoned a flame titan out. 3,000 degrees of high temperature. In an instant, the nearby pythons were scorched. At the same time, on Kamijo Tuma's side, he still punched one by one. After hitting these boa constrictors, they immediately turned into spirit particles and disappeared. This ability. Orochimaru's eyes lit up, then, he raised his sword finger. Go straight to wood style. The wood directly broke through the ground and rose from Kamijo Tuma's feet. Bind his legs. Kamijo Tuma clapped his right hand. Remove the wood again and eliminate it directly, as if there is no such thing in this world. Eliminate wood style too. Rinnegan of Orochimaru sees clearly. Wood style can be said to be solid, which is different from the giant python made of spirit particles. However, it still disappeared. Then, as if he had discovered a new toy, he began to seriously test the limits of this toy. Advertisement, anyway, Orochimaru has a lot of lives, so it's probably fine if he dies. However, I didn't expect that Rinnegan would be produced. This B************ D hides very deeply. On Uzumaki Mizuki's side, standing on the balcony, a golden light floated behind him. The huge Tensigan is observing the situation on the battlefield. At the same time, there's a vase at his feet, there's a branch growing on it. High speed. It feels like it won't be long before it will be able to grow like a sky. This is the clone of World Tree. Uzumaki Mizuki transplanted it from himself, made the entity, and started planting. The plan started. Do you still want to escape? Aizen looked at the fire on the right calmly. Good guy, the two of them have been teleporting and ringing, and they have left the scope of Academy City. At this time, it is above Wang Yanghai. Under the moonlight, the sea sparkles. Who the hell are you? The fire on the right is under great pressure. His attack called God's Hand unexpectedly couldn't cause fatal damage to this person. The best time was nothing more than cutting half of the opponent's body. But soon, the opponent's body recovered, in front of him, regenerated. This made him a little unacceptable. Is this person in front of me a demon or an angel? How is it possible for humans to have such abilities? Your strength seems to come from that bird's claws, and you don't seem to have too much strength yourself. Aizen asked. It is because of this that he has not killed the fire on the right. Like Orochimaru, he also thinks he's found a good toy. Otherwise, by manipulating the five senses, he can make the fire on the right teleport directly into his arms. Are you kidding me? The fire on the right is angry? The divine right reappears. He wants to cover the area in front of him, not giving the other party a chance to avoid it. Boom. The entire air was shaking. Columns of water exploded directly on the surface of the sea. Where are you playing? Aizen's voice appeared in the left ear of the fire on the right. This made the fire on the right stand on end, then without hesitation continued to wield the power of the divine right. Advertisement. It felt like someone was being hit, ripped right out. This calmed the heart of the fire on the right. Think you won? However, the voice that had already scared him rang out again. Right side Zhuo turned his head quickly, trying to find the figure of that person, but he couldn't find it at all. Impossible. The power of the holy right will automatically adjust and destroy the target. I absolutely hit him head on just now, there's no way he's still alive. The fire on the right said a little madly, his mind exploded. The holy right, who was invincible in the past, faced this enemy this time, but he was a little helpless. It is obvious that one's own strength is to be close to that of God. And his plan has not yet been implemented. My heart is very ordinary. It seems to be due to age. Is the strength on my body also bestowed by the so-called gods? Or steal the power of God? Aizen's voice kept ringing. Such a weak body can bear such a strong force. He almost resisted for a moment just now. If the 840 hadn't resounded, his body would probably be blown to pieces. Millions of shields, a power that is actually irresistible. In the Shinigami world, Hogyoku didn't evolve him to the last step, 2 stages away from moving at the speed of light. But now, his strength has also been raised to the point where he is still 1 level away from the final stage of moving at the speed of light. You blasphemy! Get out! Are you scared? Forget it after dissecting it, it feels like nothing can be seen. Since you can't find your opponent, then give up this battle. He panicked. After he saw the city, he hadn't breathed out yet. Want to leave the battlefield? He saw that he was still standing high above the sea. Start using parallel teleportation. Coward, lost consciousness. What happened? In fact, he was only manipulated by the 5 senses, thinking that he had used teleportation, but in fact he was always in place. On the side of Zhuo on the right, they could only roar crazily. Appearing directly beside Yufangzhuo, he subdued him in an instant, and Yufangzhuo passed out directly. There is a flower in front of my eyes. Crazy teleportation. On Aizen's side, it means giving up and continuing to play. But on the entire sea, he couldn't see anyone. The fire on the right is going crazy. 234. The compromised Kamijo Tuma, monster. The magicians in robes screamed. Then, they all died at the hands of a man in a K uniform with a glowing angel's halo on his head. Hughes Wind/hyphenation point Angel of Science. She was controlled by Asia Reese Tower to get rid of the people sent by the Roman Orthodox Church and the British Catholic Church. The right seat of the gods, and the sage who asked for advice from England, all entered the interior of Academy City. These mages and knights outside were not the opponents of Hughes Fengjian at all, and they all fell under her hands. She's doing the finishing touches. The scourge of the front wind has stopped. Why haven't ordinary people woke up? Ya Reese towered in the windowless mouth, suddenly opened his eyes and said in doubt. This time his goal was not achieved, because he did not see Uzumaki Mizuki making a move, but the 3 who came to disturb him last time resisted the joint attack of the 2 sects. But now, the battle on the field is over. In the end, only Orochimaru was left, chasing Kamijo Tuma and the others. The water in the rear also fell under the hands of Urahara Kazuki, and was directly beaten to a serious injury and dying. After Hughes cleared the field with the wind, he discovered something was wrong. In Academy City, order has not yet been restored. The police officers and disciplinary committee members, who have not yet appeared, are responsible for the city's restoration. It's so quiet for the city. Get out of the way. Kamijo Tuma was covered in injuries. He stared at Orochimaru firmly, and at the same time focused more on Tsuchimikado and Stale, who were tied up by wood style behind him. And Kanzaki Fireweave were also put together. This effeminate-looking man kidnaps 3 of his friends. You're very interesting. Can you tell me what your force is? It doesn't look like magic, and superpowers don't look like it. Is it an uncontrollable force? Orochimaru asked directly. He experimented a lot. In the end, it was discovered that if it was something that existed in the original physical form of the world, the opponent's right hand cannot be eliminated, but as long as it is made by yourself, whether it is through chakra, lingza, or even sage mode. As long as all kinds of things are made with these energies, they will be eliminated. Including Susanoo. This shocked him a little, but after discovering that there are physical forms that cannot be eliminated in the world, he is much simpler. Picking up a few stones and throwing them over will restrict the opponent. He used the shuriken technique, which was basically discarded by him, basically pointing to where to hit. I do not know either. Advertisement, because I lost my memory. Obviously, your boss said that no one will die, why should they be arrested? I'll take them away, I won't let them continue to fight, isn't that all right? Kamijo Tuma answered anyway, it's also true to tell the truth. When he broke Index's memory erasing magic, his own memory was erased instead. Now he only knows that his right hand has the power to eliminate unreasonable existence. Others, because his memory disappeared, he didn't know too much. At this time, he could also see that the other party had no intention of killing, otherwise, he wouldn't have said much. He just wanted to leave with his friends now, and he didn't want to continue to be involved in this matter. Have you seen the king? However, although the king said that no one would die, he also told us that they should be arrested. If you want me to release people, you can only ask the king to order it. Orochimaru was a little surprised, but then he said calmly. Because this does not conflict with the order issued by Uzumaki Mizuki. It said that no one would die, but it didn't say that no one would be arrested. You, Kamijo Tuma was furious, however, he is really powerless against Orochimaru. A few times just now, he was forced back by the stones thrown by the opponent. Abdomen and arms have been aching. Do you want to cooperate, or let me arrest you? Orochimaru said. He looked at Kamijo Tuma up and down. If you want to restrain this guy, it seems to be the most convenient to use a rope directly. But now, he no longer has such a thing. In the past, he still put some steel wires in his pocket, but now, he has learned the formation of the Quincy's spirit particles, and can directly use the spirit particles to form any object. I want to see the king you speak of. Kamijo Tuma took a deep breath and said. At this time, Mizuki can only count on himself to convince Uzumaki. Seeing this, the snake spider did not persecute it either. He directly signaled Kamijo Tuma to follow, and at the same time, there were a total of 4 prey behind him, who were tied up with snakes by him, and then moved with him. All of them were injected with special toxins by him, that is, curse seals, and it was impossible for these people to wake up without him dispelling them. However, if it is touched by that kid's hand, it will be a little troublesome to grab it again. After passing by, I immediately saw Urahara Kazuki who was waiting downstairs in the apartment, and at the same time, there was the water of the rear fainted at his feet. Aizen is the slowest. Orochimaru was slightly surprised. He should be by my side. Advertisement. Urahara Kazuki also did not relieve Bankai at this time. It doesn't take much to maintain this state, and he always feels a sense of crisis. This state enables the fastest response. Do you mean another person? Isn't he just standing here? Kamijo Tuma hesitated for a moment, but spoke anyway. Okay. Both Orochimaru and Urahara Kazuki were a little surprised. Both of them actually had a slight feeling, but they couldn't confirm whether they made a mistake. You actually avoided the manipulation of my 5 senses. Interesting. Aizen is also eyeing Kamijo Tuma. At the same time, except for the 5 senses control of Urahara Kazuki and Orochi. After seeing Aizen, the two looked at Shendu with some fear, but they didn't say anything. It seemed that they were testing their strength. I have the most prey. I should be the one to win this time. Orochimaru spoke from this side. He became more and more interested in the bodies of Aizen and Urahara Kazuki. Their bodies must have integrated their highest skills, and they will definitely not be simple. Looking at Urahara Kazuki's appearance, he knew that the other party must have strengthened himself. Wangs, even if you get some cells, Orochimaru feels that it is very helpful to him. Do you want to change your opponent? My prey is very powerful. Aizen also followed suit. Wait for the king's order. Urahara Kazuki said finally. He interrupted the conversation because he didn't want to end up being the subject of the study. Speaking of Uzumaki Mizuki, sure enough, the other two fell silent. Still afraid, aren't you looking for him? Want to wait here? Kamijo Tuma was puzzled. Is it easy for you to meet the person in charge of this city here? Orochimaru asked directly. Kamijo Tuma was stunned. I remembered that the other party had always called that person the king. He feels the pressure. For a while, I didn't dare to say anything more. But at this time, someone is invading the city. Lola? Yari's Tower looked at the person who appeared in the picture in surprise. 235. Academy City is my site. Leave here. A sweeping robot appeared in front of Laura and drove her away directly. But Laura just smiled. Gently tap your finger. This sweeping robot shattered directly. It's so quiet, this place. Has Roman Orthodoxy succeeded? Laura looked like she was taking a walk here, very happy. At the same time, they are also observing the changes in the city. She was outside and observed Hugh's wind slash and felt that there was no problem. I thought this was the way the Reese Tower was hiding. It must be very troublesome to deal with these people on the Holy Right, plus those unknown powerhouses. She was sure that Asia Reese Tower would reveal her real body this time. A rare opportunity. After waiting for so many years, she couldn't wait any longer. So, she came in person. Karanzan Great Demon, this is her true face. The purpose is to destroy the Reese Tower. This is the responsibility she was summoned, otherwise she would not be able to disappear. At the same time, behind her, followed the catalog of the forbidden books of magic. On Xiao Wangshu, she also made a means. Through the spiritual outfit, she can control and use the other party. This is how to use Magic 540 Forbidden Book Catalog. This time, she also brought it along. Is she dealing with those people too? The possibility is too low. Even with the catalog of banned books, the result will be the same. Yari's Tower side, some doubts. Although he felt that something was wrong with Laura, he didn't know her true identity. But at this time, what he cares more about is why the people in the city haven't woken up yet. After searching for a long time, I didn't find the answer. He finally chose to go to Uzumaki Mizuki and a group of people. The curse spell has stopped, he is very sure of this. But now, something unknown seems to have happened. This incident can only be related to this group of people. When will we wait? Kamijo Tuma couldn't bear it anymore. 10 minutes passed. These people are all standing there bored, not knowing what to do. Looking at Tsuchimikado and others who fainted beside him, he couldn't wait any longer. Wait until the king appears, Orochimaru said. Advertisement. Although the 3 of them stood still, their heads were still very active. Thinking about many things. They, CFCH, also gained more or less from the battle just now. This level of fighting has been able to harvest a lot of information. If he didn't feel that this person had something to do with Wong, he would have planned to cut off the other's arm before trying other situations. See if there is a problem with the hand or the person. But Kamijo Tuma didn't wait for an answer. The appearance of Yari's tower attracted the attention of 3 people. However, none of the 3 spoke, they just looked at each other calmly. Yari's tower had the same expression. For a while, several people did not speak. In the end, Kamijo Tuma couldn't bear it anymore. Is this your king? Kamijo Tuma couldn't help asking. But this guy who looks like a hospital gown doesn't look like him at all. And he also feels that Uzumaki Mizuki is more like a god than a king in the description of Tsuchimikado and Steel. People in this city are still in a coma, did you do it? Yaris towered over here and asked. No one answered Kamijo Tuma. Seeing someone speak, Kamijo Tuma also held back his temper. He felt that what he encountered today was too much. I can do it, but I don't do it, Aizen replied. He's still interested in Yari's tower. The other party, like me at the time, wanted to kill God. But whether the purpose is the same, he is not quite sure. Yari's tower turned her head and looked at the 2 of Urahara Kazuki and Orochimaru. Both Urahara Kazuki and Orochimaru shook their heads slightly. In the presence of equality, their attitude is still acceptable. At the same time, they also had the same feeling as Aizen. I have taken a fancy to each other's body. Those who are engaged in science just like to dissect. Is that him? Yari's tower looked up, looking down at Uzumaki Mizuki on the balcony below. The 2 looked at each other. Yari's tower saw the indifference in the opponent's eyes, and also made him feel a little fear. Why do I feel this way? Yari's tower was a little surprised. Although he still has emotions, he has actually lost a lot under so many things. He has not felt such a thing as fear for a long time. Because his goal is the demon god, the ultimate in this world. Advertisement, so, how could he still have fear? Index. But at this time, Kamijo Tuma made a surprise sound. He saw the harem he was familiar with, but soon, he felt something was wrong. Index is floating in the air, not the usual lively look, which makes Kamijo Tuma feel very strange. Orochimaru and the others looked at Index very curiously, and they also felt strange. The Sai of the Dragon King, for Index, use powerful magic immediately. The target is the 3 of Orochimaru. Yari's tower wanted to stop. But Kamijo Tuma rushed out even faster, directly blocking the 3 of them. He doesn't want things to get too big, I just hope everyone can get out of here safely. Boom. A white light wave about 1 meter in length was emitted from Index's face. Kamijo Tuma directly blocked it with his right hand. Strong attack, stronger than Wang's Sero. Aizen was a little surprised. Obviously, I didn't expect that this little girl actually possessed such strength. Bring this city back to what it was. Yari's towered over here and said directly. Still that indifferent tone. Who do you think you were talking to? Uzumaki Mizuki leapt from the balcony and stood directly on the street, facing Ri's tower. Careful. Kamijo Tuma suddenly shouted. He persisted very hard. But this attack was indeed too strong, and he couldn't eliminate it at once. Index has been releasing. Finally the attack deflected. Aizen blocked the attack without hesitation, and blocked it with 1,000,000 shields. This is my city. On the Yari's tower side, they still didn't give in at all, and said very forcefully. This is the basis of everything he has done. He hasn't had time to display his plan yet, so how could he give up so soon? Not anytime soon. Uzumaki Mizuki smiled and said. These words made Yari's tower feel very uncomfortable. But on Index's side, she fell into a rampage and began to release more magic. Kamijo Tuma wanted to touch Index to relieve the other party's current weird state. But it couldn't get close at all, because Index's automatic defense of St. George's Sanctuary was activated, and Kamijo Tuma couldn't rush over at all.